Here is what the Tape Never Lies Network means to me. Now, there's a lot of sites out there, a lot of fan sites and all that stuff, but there are few, if any, that matches the knowledge, the wisdom, and the charisma of the Tape Never Lies Network. It is what I rely upon each and every week to find out what's going on with our Chicago Bears. Listen, I like the Sick podcast. It's fine. Its host is okay. But for me, the money site is the Tape Never Lies Network. Watch it.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and there's just the tape doesn't lie.
What have you liked about kind of the way your offense has rounded out in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I just think it's growing. You know, the guys are growing. I think the players are getting used to the scheme. The timing's getting better. The rhythm's getting better. I thought that yesterday the protection was good, and the protection's been good, you know, at times, and it was better yesterday. And the guys are just getting used to it. You know, you can feel Justin, you know, comfortable where he is right now in the offense. He's taking command. I can see him in practice, and I've seen it the last couple weeks. Him taking control of, you know, route depths and talking to receivers. Hey, I want you to run it this way, you know, run it that way. Have, you know, whatever the detail is, he's right there on top of it. And he's been growing that way, and that's been really good.
The love of Bears fans and football fans from all over the world. I'll never forget the moment. You know, it was after he made his announcement that, you know, what he was going through. And we're sitting at his office in Hoffman Estates, and we're going through, I'm talking about garbage bags, you guys, like garbage bags of mail from all over the world of people that were impacted by him. So for me, that's when I looked at him and I was like, Pops, dude, this is from Italy, dude. Like,
yeah.
Did you know? He was like, he looked at me, and I'll never forget. He was like, I had no idea. And I think his perception was, you know, so Chicago, so the U.S. and playing the game that is so loved here in the United States that he didn't know that he was making an impact. And we're talking about before the internet, man. We're talking about before Twitter, all this stuff. So, like, when God made a football player, dude, they made 34. They were like, he was like, yo, I'm making this dude. I'm going to put a Jerry curl on his head. I'm going to put a Rouge headband on there. He going to look sweet with the spat because nobody else was spatting like him. Like, it was different. But the way he played the game, you can't tell me any different, honestly. Like, I know I'm a homer because he's my pops, but he's the greatest football player that I've ever, like, all around that I've ever seen, man. Bar none. Right?
Right.
I mean, it's a game we all love. Like, we go out with our friends back when we were younger in the backyard and play and say we're Walter Payton or Barry Sanders or something like that. Like, we all did that. Right. But the way that he did it for 13 years, and so I'm going to tell you guys, the reason why he did it the way that he did is he was a warrior. He was a grinder. And he never wanted you, like guys like you, your family, everybody that was watching. He never wanted people to miss out on an opportunity to watch him. So he never was like, I'm gonna take a day off, and that's why he only missed that one game his rookie year and played the rest, man, because he knew somebody was watching for the first time or coming to see him for the first time that paid their hard-earned money to be able to come watch him play. He didn't want to disappoint. And as a kid, I didn't understand that. As a man now, man, more props to him, man, because you guys know the crime. We see running backs take, you know, a couple games off every single year. It's just how it is. Oh, yeah. I mean, to play with separated shoulders and high ankle sprains, like he did it all. It means the world to me because it means that my dad made an impact. And I think that's what we're all trying to do, right? Before we leave this earth, is try to figure out how to be able to make an impact on this world. And we all do it in different ways. And so the pressure was on me because I played sports. And then when I switched over to football, was to be like your dad. And my dad would always tell me, don't be like me, son, be better than me. And I didn't get it as a kid. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're the GOAT. But he was talking about outside of the game,
right?
Like how you are as a person, how you carry yourself, like how you treat other people, like that whole sweetness persona. Like can you carry that? And for me,
that's being a dad, not a superstar athlete.
Yeah, it's for me that I feel like that's been more pressure than what was happening on the football field, because I know what my dad did off the field, and it speaks volumes to the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which is given out every single year since '99 to people that are not just good football players, but are good men.
Buhay from the Philippines. As a Bear fan, you're not going to find a better place or a better network anywhere online and to have your Bear information weekly. TTNL, Keepin It 100. There is no off season, and every Wednesday night there's a special group of people that come together and talk Bears. And Phil and Shane have brought unprecedented guests and insight and information to me as a Bear fan that I never knew. And without Phil and Shane putting this network together, my Bear knowledge would be a lot less than it is. And I consider myself a diehard fan. For Phil and Shane, for what you do for us, what you bring every week. As those Bear fans, let me say thank you. Thank you for all the hard work you have put in. And it's felt and it's seen, and we appreciate it. This network has grown, and I'm glad to see it grow, and it will continue to grow. Phil and Shane, you've done an amazing job, and to the cast and crew behind the scenes, you know who you are. Great work, giving us great content every week. And for me personally, the network has opened up brotherhoods and friendships I never thought were possible. Jack Baller himself has come out here to the Philippines, and it's been nice that relationship wouldn't be where it is today without TTNL. So thanks for all you do, guys. Congratulations on your 100th episode. We love you out here from the Philippines. Mahal ko, I love you.
TTNL is family. We're one big Bears family. Not just nationwide, not just locally, but internationally, globally, a family. We can get together on our forum and celebrate and share in on the thing that we love a lot in our lives, which is our team, our fandom, the Chicago Bears. One of the things that stick out to me and makes me feel real proud is that we're a part of something special. TTNL is light years ahead of any other platform or forum that talks about the Bears due to the fact that us as the 100 crew, viewers or watchers, have real meaningful interactions with our founders. We have phone calls, we have text messages, we do happy birthdays, we do, wedding anniversaries, how's your kid? And it's all genuine, it's all from the heart. So when I say family, TTNL is a giant family, man. Like, we're family for real. I want to shout out everybody: Phil, Shane, Jackal, Cars, Mama Bear, AB, the real AB, who shows up to work and puts the work in, and all my 100 brothers and sisters. This is our year right here. Bear down.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Here we go.
Trading 100.
Yes!
What? Oh, here it is! After just recording.
The tape never lies.
Other people drop off, but we still keep
You'll never know how good your football team is going to be until you play with maximum effort.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man at Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're all stuck like the Jew and now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sack scrolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Jimmy. What we do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unchair. The tape never lies, the truth, you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sack. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man in Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it.
1 point,
2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Birds never lie. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this is Claudio LaBarber, and this is TTNL's Keeping It 100, the best bear show on the planet. Bear none. We all know this. Listen, after a tough loss, yes, a loss, not a moral victory, to the Vikings, we got a quick turnaround. The Commanders are going to be at Soldier Field tomorrow night. So, of course, we got another great show for you tonight. We got the first guy that not only comes from the Bears universe, but comes from the Marvel universe. Former Bears running back Thomas Jones will be on this show. So let's bring on the man, Draft Dr. Phil. Let me do it. There he is.
There.
What's up, bro?
Yo! I don't know if you came in slower than Mustafa on a screen pass.
Well, I was, again, little lag there, but we made it. We're here. That's all.
You did.
But Shane is not here. But
Shane is here. I don't know if you could check the bottom of the.
Oh, is he here? No, I didn't see him pop up there.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network. Breaking news.
Hello.
There he is.
I was here for the whole open, Claude.
Did not see you. I'm sorry. You were on the bottom. What do you want?
Claude,
I don't give a fuck if he smokes weed. They all smoke weed.
Claude's broadcasting from Saddam Hussein's bunker. It sounds like.
I am
Let's get
not
the action underway. On the first cow here, who's got 55, 55, 55,
That beat slaps. I don't care what anybody says. That beat slaps. Yeah, I'm actually at my house. We've got some construction at the shop. We're done at Duncan there, and I got no Wi-Fi, so I will be here for the next few weeks. But enough of that.
A lot of
they're doing a whole renovation of the whole place.
Your barber shop too?
No. My shop is good. It's just they're shutting down the
free stolen internet.
The free Wi-Fi.
Free Wi-Fi. That's part of my lease, motherfucker. That's it. I get free Wi-Fi.
The code is Claudio the Barber.
Then let me do what I had to do.
I can't wait to meet Claudio someday. It's gonna be.
I'll bring you to modern, bro. Modern's really
I know. Can't wait to get there.
Oh my God. A lot of stuff going on, Claudio. Big turnaround after a tough loss. Obviously, we got a lot to get into. We got Thomas Jones coming up at the top of the hour. At the top of the hour. A lot of talk about him, Shane. A lot of talk about Justin Fields, Getsy, Alan Williams, these coordinators, these coaches, and we got some players that are returning. N'Keal Harry.
Yeah.
Also, Leatherwood has in the 21-day window.
Yeah. He looks like he's trimmed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I think he
I
needed.
didn't
Maybe
see
he
him
can.
in the.
Yeah.
Someone maybe can pull that. Someone had some tape of them, I guess, in their new orange jersey. I'm not feeling this orange jersey thing.
Yeah, I was hoping, and maybe people disagree with me, but I was hoping they would go with the ice white.
Yes.
With
the
I have
white
like
out.
How
about the white out with the white bear? That would have been sick.
Someplace.
They should have just changed their whole helmet
bear,
up.
that would have been sick.
Put the
I was hoping they were going to go
Chicago
all
bear
completely different. I mean, it's switching it up. I have the orange mini helmet because I collect mini helmets over there.
Yeah.
But I was hoping they were going to go. I was hoping they were going to go out of their way and just like go completely like off the rails. Like this isn't the same old Chicago Bears. Give me a white helmet with a gray C. There's like an ice helmet that they call it. It looks pretty fucking great. Actually, I should be able to pull up a picture and show it to everybody. But yeah, we'll see how it looks on the TV
We're gonna
tomorrow.
go orange on orange. Zorich had sent me that uniform. I think you have it too. It looks so much better than what they're putting out there. It's like
with the white pants.
Yeah, this looks like shit to me. Let
me see if I can find that.
Hopefully, our offense looks great.
Yeah,
look
exactly.
like shit in the uniforms, but
it's like I've seen them go blue on blue, but I'm with you at this point. It's like just go straight off the map.
Yeah,
I thought the Bengals all white was.
That looks sharp.
That was dope.
So if you were gonna do something like that,
yeah,
go all white, orange, bear heads on each side of your, just something different when you're allowed to do something like this. But again, I hated
that's a good point.
Orange uniforms against the 49ers when the Nathan Vasher took one back to the house.
This is the one that I wanted. It's a crappy picture, but I would have went with something like that.
Yeah, I could totally get
with all white, a white shirt, white pants,
totally off script. Yeah,
that would have been dope.
Total different look. I could sign up for this. Do we have a picture of what they're giving us? Bullets actually sent me the one that Zorich was sending me, and this is exact. Shane, I don't know if you could put that one up. Thank you, Bullets. He's texting us.
Texted
it. That's exactly what I was looking. You're going orange. This is the uniform I wanted. And you got the bear head on the. Do something you've never done before.
Oh, okay, that's the one. All right.
That was the one Zorich was like, Phil, this is sick.
Yeah.
I go, oh my God, that's what they're wearing. I was all excited for like 35 minutes till Shane and Ryan Cox sent me the text of Roquan modeling this. It's basic. It doesn't even match. It doesn't look like it even.
Yeah, the oranges look different.
Right?
Yeah, I agree.
It goes this. Oh my God, Dunkin' Donut pumpkin race out here for.
I got a couple helmets over here. Let me go grab them. I'll be right back. You guys talk, and I'll show you a couple different
options.
options.
Grab that pick though.
Oh yeah.
I just want to put that. The one Bullets just sent.
Well, he sent me four. He said, just that one. Okay.
Cleats and helmet. That's all.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that helmet though.
Look, it looks like it doesn't match.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah, they should have went with.
So you're saying, Phil? You're saying that you should have blue pants, or what are you saying?
I'm gonna show you. Bullet sent it. It's orange throughout.
Yeah, I'm not the one that Bullet sent me. I'm not a big fan of that helmet. I would have.
I love that helmet.
Totally off script on.
This is
just loading it up right now.
okay.
Give me a second.
To me, his helmet.
They should have went. Well, they should have went. The socks. Yeah, the socks are.
The socks look
that's
like
not great.
Okay, we're wearing our regular uniform, the orange helmet and orange shirt.
Yeah, here
Jersey.
is.
As a coach, I would say, I'm sorry, I can't put my players out there wearing that shit.
Bullet said he'd love to see Sid Luckman in this.
Yes,
was.
this
I'm
is
not a
what I
big.
was looking
I'm not a big fan of that helmet.
I love the helmet.
Personally,
It's
to me, it looks
all
I don't
orange with the navy, and then you're gonna wear orange
I'm with
pants.
Shane. I don't know about that, but
I like that a lot.
I like what Creighton said. He said at least the field will be able to see the receivers in these bright orange helmets. So that's a plus.
Hey, listen. To Shane's point, we'll talk about it. You know, when we see it later on television, I'll know.
Can we take that picture up, or is that?
But for this, honestly, I think this looks sharp.
Yeah.
That helmet, the socks go with the fucking helmet. Like if you put
this
Roquan
is
back up, it doesn't even go.
That's what they're going to be wearing. That's tomorrow night.
Right. Okay.
So there's a couple different options. There's a metallic one.
Better, 100% metallic.
This isn't bad. This is a totally
different. Collect. I can't see.
Totally different.
Oh, like a matte black.
Yep.
Like the matte black. Yeah, that's pretty.
And then this one's
nice.
actually not bad either.
Oh, that would have been dope.
That all white.
If you went with orange, white pants, white helmet like that.
Yeah.
Get rid of those socks.
Yeah. I have a Notre Dame one. It's brown though. It looks like shit. But they play like shit, so it fits.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
You're not digging the moral victories?
I love all
into the moral victories or what?
No.
I
think we've discussed this, and
we talked about it instantly on BHL.
We talked about it right before it ever happened. That's the crazy thing. We put our line in the sand, and I think a lot of people have come across and joined us on our side of the fence. It's just this is the NFL. This is the highest level of football. We can't celebrate the fact that we've run a play correctly one time. You're expected. That's your job. College football, maybe you can twist the narrative to get a moral win out of a loss. But in the NFL, you are playing each and every week to get a paycheck. You play for pay. These
any
fans
given Sunday, you're right.
care.
I mean, any given Sunday, it's the NFL. You should be able to win. There's teams that you look at the game before, you look at the spread, you're like, there's no fucking way that team's gonna win, and they go out there and they fucking win. And,
exactly.
In college, you could have.
I think people are twisting. People are twisting these things. They're looking at two different things, like a candy fucking cane. Okay, Justin Fields isn't the team. He's a part of the team, big, huge, important part. The fact that he played well, you're trying to manipulate that as a moral victory. Well, Justin looked well. You are missing the giant point, and that's the point that TTNL has been fighting for forever. Really, since we began, and before that at the old network. I didn't ever take any pride. We almost won. Like, some of these people need to holster their fucking social media, whatever they're saying, whether it be comments in YouTube, comments on Facebook. Twitter is obviously, from everything I've been told from Ivan and Ryan Cox and who else? Chris Zorich. Like, Twitter is disgusting right now. Everybody thinks they know the game of football and don't know. It's
amplified more so this season than I've ever seen it.
It's time to quit Twitter. Time to quit. I'm serious. It's disgusting.
I'm not involved. I mean, other than retweeting our stuff, I'll do some stuff on, in game. But as far as where I used to be before they actually locked up my original account full time, I mean, I barely have any followers on my new one, and I'm fine with that. We do our thing here, and I'm more concerned about our followers on YouTube and stuff like that. That works for me. But
I'm tired of watching okay, there's discussions, there's anger, there's frustrations, there's people ready to fire coach. Like Eberflus is not getting fired.
Oh my God,
He's
Phil.
not.
Well, I don't know what our setup will be exactly tonight, but there's people out there that are just. I mean, I got so many DMs, and believe me, I'm not calling you out. Bullets was one of them, but he wasn't alone. That how you like Dayball now, and I'm like, just wait. I'll sit over here. I'll take my victory lap in time. I feel very confident about it. That's fine. I'm not hey, Matt Nagy goes home at night and looks at that 2018 Coach of the Year trophy, polishes that fucker off, and what does it mean? Nothing. Doesn't mean shit. I'm not crowning Brian Daboll after 5 games. Wait till Brian Daboll gets in place what Brian Daboll wants, and then we'll see what Brian Daboll does. He'll change just like he always has. It's fine. It's fine. I've been wrong before too, but I also know who Brian Daboll is. And if you want to write the ending to that story after 5 games, you're making a massive fucking mistake.
Listen, and the other thing I want to clear up is some of this narrative writing from some of you trolls. You know who you are. But it's also for people that are following along that get confused. If all offseason you go through understanding you're getting to this point, I don't know who Matt Eberflus is. I've always prefaced it with he's saying all the things I want to hear.
Sure.
Everything he's doing, he's building the culture the right way. What Eberflus, just like Justin, David Montgomery, Sam Mustipher, Braxton Jones, you put anyone in the ad-lib sentence. What they do on Sundays is when I see the play, the Broadway play, the movie, I hear the CD, whatever you're a critic of, what you know, what you do. If you're a mechanic, it's when you get that car in front of you and get under the hood to see it. For me, football, the story of who people are is on the tape. No one's going to fuck with me on the tape. I will go toe-to-toe with anybody. Like I'm dealing with trolls that don't know slot fade and what a wide receiver's responsibility is. No, that was a good throw by Justin. I'm telling you, if Darnell Mooney did a 360 turn and got there, it's a back shoulder. That's what they do.
I had somebody on Twitter tell me Roquan when he bit on the was it Rager's touchdown? I'd have to go back and my head is swimming right now.
2 of them.
But they're like, that's not you don't understand football. You don't understand football. Roquan's responsibility was Kirk Cousins on that play. I'm like, oh my fucking God. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
So all of this stuff going on, my expectation is always going to be the truth. The tape is going to tell the truth. Right now, I'm not happy with Chris Morgan, the offensive line coach. I'm not happy with Matt Eberflus. I'm not happy with the politics that I see because as Zorich said eloquently last night, it was a great moment, right, Sheree? He's like, they're watching the same fucking tape we are. If they can't see it, then what? And that's where politics come in. Because that is the problem. You have to.
I think there's 100% politics going in, and I think, unfortunately, right, wrong, or indifferent, I think they want to see who can play and who can't out of their guys moving forward. And I just think that's end of the day, that's what's going on, right, wrong, or indifferent. Don't have to agree with it. I'm just saying, I think that's what's going on.
I think it goes back to moral victories where you and Chubbs, I thought, had a good comment. I believe I saw it up there. And I agree with him. Like, there is a lesson to be learned in losing. It's just you don't learn by losing.
Well, we haven't learned
because
we've done lots of fucking. We should be the smartest motherfuckers on the planet.
It becomes a disease. You start mentally processing. Oh, here's that part where we're going to just blow it and lose. You have to build this culture of winning in order to get to the point where you're 100% winning. If you invade politics, if you bring like everybody, should see the tape, and then you know, okay, this guy can't play. I mean,
Speaking
tonight,
of this, our guest tonight, I can't. We'll ask him about moral victories. I can already hear him. I can already see Thomas rolling his eyes when he explains to me about moral victories.
Our guest will know, like, he was a victim of politics. I'll 100%. Speak for him if he doesn't want to talk. When your administration, your front office make this selection, they've invested a draft choice or big money contract in somebody, but the players see, we'll just use Thomas Jones busting his ass every day in the weight room, at practice, in the games. He's feeling it, running through a fucking linebacker, breaking it out, blocking backside on fucking Waggle. He's taking out the defense. He's doing everything in his power to be on the field all the time. But listen, we got to look good for our fans. We got to play our other guy who misses the block, doesn't know his assignment, but we're going to put him into that. Starts to destroy a culture. And that's all I'm saying. Right now, I look at this offensive line. The guy they were rotating in is your clearly undecided best. It's not even close. And that's what we're dealing with. Sam Mustipher, to me, has earned a spot on the pine. He's become a liability. But anyway, let's get to this guy. I'm telling you right now, this is the way we introduce somebody. I don't think he'll ever have an intro better than the one we've produced for him. And this guy has starred in Marvel movies, for God's sake. He's like his own superhero, but he was a superhero for the Bears and the Bears fans on the field. Let's bring him out. Bring him out, Jay-Z. Thomas Jones.
As you all know by now, TTNL is on a hot streak of bringing in the heavy hitters from your Chicago Bears. That streak continues tonight. When you talk about players that are born to be a Bear, this guy fits that mold. Starting with the Bears from Union High School, he would later sign with the Bears of Chicago as a free agent in 2004. And it started paying immediate dividends that would continue through the 2006 season, ultimately culminating in a Super Bowl appearance that same season, where the Bears should have continued to ride the hot hand with number 20. Bears fans, TTNL fans, get up out your seats and give it up for the true heartbeat of your 04, 05, and 06 Chicago Bears. He's Thomas Jones.
There he is.
Wow. Listen, man, before y'all say anything, I have never seen an introduction like that specific, detailed. I got chills, man. I almost got like a little emotional watching it because I'm like, wow, these guys care that much about what I did. You know what I mean? So I take my hat off to you guys. Thank you so much for that intro, man. It means a lot, man, especially being that I've been out of the league for about 10 years now. And I'm a little bit disconnected from football, but you just immediately brought me back to Chicago, man. So that's incredible, man. Thank you for that introduction.
Can we get you to play a couple snaps at center, Thomas?
Man, I think
strong enough.
I think me and Olin definitely, man. We would line up if we could.
I know.
We would definitely line up if we could.
We had Olin on here like 2 weeks ago. And he spoke so highly of you and what you brought to the team. And I want to address what you said because it's so important when we have a guest. I and Shane, we built this network on the truth, the tape never lies network. And every Sunday, being a fan, being a coach, being a player myself, to see someone bring it the way you brought it each and every week meant a lot to me personally, because I lived and died with the Bear. It affects my whole week and my life. And some people are afraid to admit that. Other people aren't. But I'm never afraid to admit that. I could only have so much respect for you because of what you've had to endure. You were considered a bust in Arizona. I remember it. And you went to Tampa Bay and you found a fit. And I just remember Shane calling me, the Bears are interested in Thomas Jones. I go, dude, this dude coming out of Virginia was a beast. I don't know what's going on in Arizona, but he'd be perfect here. Running the eye, running. And sure enough, you were the perfect fit, the perfect penicillin to the Chicago Bears, and you deserve every moment of that intro. I thank you for everything you've given, your service to the community, as well as every Sunday, Thomas. I'm so excited to have you on the show tonight.
Thank you, man. I'm excited too. I actually saw the one good thing about the Bears fans is that the Bears fans and the players, we like family. The one hashtag that I love is once a Bear, always a Bear.
Yes.
And so I haven't played in Chicago in obviously over a decade, and I haven't played in the NFL in a decade. But thank God for Twitter and social media, because I'm still able to stay connected to Bears fans and to the city of Chicago, so I don't miss a beat. And I saw Brian Urlacher's interview and Olin's, and when you guys reached out, I'm like, hey, this is my type of conversation.
Yeah,
it's my type of platform, and I'm honored to be on here, man. Seriously.
Do you ever talk any shit to Brian about going a little bit higher in the draft than he did?
No, man. You know what, Lack coming out, I didn't know what the hell position Lack was. I just knew, I'm like, this dude is huge,
Yeah.
We were at all the All-American banquets. I think I was a consensus All-American, and I don't know, I think Lack might have been a consensus All-American, but we were at the College Football Awards. That's where I first met Brian, at the College Football Awards show in Orlando. He was up for, I think, the Jim Thorpe Award.
All right.
And I was up for the Doak Walker Award. And then the next time I bumped into him was at the Walter Camp All-American event, because we were both Walter Camp All-Americans as well. And
New Haven, representing right here.
Yeah.
New Haven, that's where I'm at.
Yeah,
I met you there too. I shook your hand, but you were being tugged and pulled everywhere because of who you were. But I was able to shake your hand. I was a running back in high school, so I always have an appreciation for somebody who did it like you did. And look, you and your brother coming out of that town. I mean, your town alone grew some great NFL football players, right? So I just remember you coming out of Virginia, and I was like, this is a guy that's going to be Marshall Faulk-like, be able to take that toss play and stretch it and cut it up. And sure enough, that's why I put that one toss play in that highlight, because I wanted I don't know, you brought another level of football, and being an All-American like that says a lot about you then. Urlacher towering over you, though, then you guys become teammates.
Yeah. Beautiful. It was a beautiful thing, man. I remember Lack in high school. I mean, not high school, but in college, and seeing some of his highlights. And like I said, I didn't know what position. I'm like, he's safety. And then I saw him returning punts. I'm like,
yeah, what is going on?
And so I didn't know really. And then his demeanor, he wasn't like, his energy and his demeanor didn't fit how he looked.
Yeah.
When you look at him, you think he's going to have this, oh, what's up, man? It's like, and then he's like, oh, what's up, buddy? He's like this jolly,
high energy. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then when he gets on the field, it's like, boom, the switch comes on, and it's like, yo, You know, that's why I think our class, Mike Brown was in my class as well.
Oh my God!
And I remember Mike when he came out. Actually, Mike and I were in the same high school class. That's what I was going to say about high school. Mike Brown and I were in the same high school class, and he was actually, I think, he was on the cover of this magazine, this high school prep football magazine called Super Prep. And the first time I saw Mike Brown was on the cover of Super Prep magazine going into my senior year. And I think it had him ranked the number 1 or 2 player in the country. And so I remember him, and then he went to Nebraska. And I was like this college football historian from the time I was like 9, 10 years old. So college football was the most exciting for me. You know, the NFL was obviously exciting, hoping to get to that level, but college football was like, that was everything. You know, I knew all the college running backs. I knew all the college quarterbacks. I knew all the college mascots. I was a big time college football fan. And so to be able to see Mike in high school and both of us be able to play on the same team, the same thing with Brian, you couldn't ask to be with two better teammates, especially 2 guys that I had become familiar with before I even played with them.
Thomas, when I look back at those teams, you know, talent aside, you guys had talent, you know, in spades. But for me, the biggest separator when you look at a guy like yourself, Olin Kreutz, Peanut, Brian Urlacher, and Mike Brown, and I want to throw a guy like Reuben Brown in there too, is just the passion that you guys, and it wasn't just there was nothing fake about it. Like I could literally sit here in New York and watch Thomas Jones run the ball in the Super Bowl, and I remember you running to the sideline, essentially demanding, "Keep me in. I'm ready to go." And I could feel every fucking ounce of energy that Thomas Jones was feeling in that moment, and that is what makes a great team. You guys are all talented. The separator for me is the determination and the passion that you guys showed. And to me, that's what made that team so special, was that, you know, select few that I just named. It just, everything mattered. It was, you know, down in and down out and Space Mountain when you guys were all in huddled together, all of that. And that, to me, that was a separator. And man, I miss that, because that's lacking in a lot of team sports nowadays. It really is.
Right. And I think the word is grit.
Yeah.
You know, we had a gritty team, and there was a standard of excellence, man, that we set. And it wasn't a bunch of rah-rah, like you said. It's one of the realest teams that I've been on in my football career, high school, college, and NFL. Everybody was real. And if you weren't real, you couldn't be in the club. You know, we held each other accountable. We loved each other as brothers and family. It wasn't like the NFL. Sometimes it's a business, obviously. It's a multi-billion-dollar business, and you rarely get a chance to feel like you're playing a game as opposed to going to work. And I learned that early on at Arizona, that, oh shit, this is a job. I don't like coming to work. I don't like the city I'm in because it's so foreign from what I'm used to. There isn't like a standard of excellence here. And it seems like everyone is just okay with whatever happens. And that's not the football world that I came from. I mean, we won back-to-back state championships in high school, in college. You know, I went to Virginia. We didn't win national championships, but George Welsh, my coach, he came from the school of Joe Paterno and those coaches. And so there was a standard of excellence. We won at least 7, 8 games every year. We expected to win every week. So going to Arizona was a drastic change for me, because it was in a totally different part of the country where it's 120 degrees on the field. And also there just wasn't a culture of winning there, you know, and it became work. I didn't feel like I was playing football again until I signed with Chicago. Wow. And that's when I had a complete rejuvenation as a man, as a football player, loving the game, loving the sport. the Soldier Field, the city, the fans. This is what I dreamed that the NFL would be like. This, and so it was perfect for me to go there then in 2004 because I needed to go through some of the worst times to truly appreciate where I was in Chicago, which is arguably the best franchise, the best set of fans, the best stadium, the best mystique, the best players in the history of the game. I mean, everything is the best there.
Right.
You know? So like I said, I think at the time that I went to Chicago, I was prepared to understand where I was and the opportunity that I had.
You already been humbled in other areas, kind of, oh, this is a business. And then you have this eye-opening moment when you come to the Bears. But in all honesty, this show is called Keeping It 100. I look at the Bears now, that culture they're trying to build, to Shane's point. He just named some players. Olin, future Hall of Famer. Olin loved the game of football more than he did to get an accolade or be named Pro Bowl. Olin wanted to win. Then you got Thomas Jones coming in there. He's coming from another team. You fit in because you were authentic. You wanted to win, right? Mike Brown wanted to win. Charles Tillman wanted to win. These guys played the game with goosebumps that you got in the intro because they wanted to win. Who built that in your mind when you came in there? Was it a collective? Was it Olin? Was it Coach Lovie Smith? Or in your mind, what was it?
I think it was the perfect mixture of guys that understood the mystique of the Chicago Bears. I think we were all mature enough as football players and experienced enough at that time to understand where we were playing, to understand the history of the franchise, the city. I mean, it's literally like the Wizard of Oz. It's like this magical city in the middle of the country, out of nowhere. It's like you're driving, all of a sudden, oh, it's like, oh, where did this city come from? There's just so much magic around that city, and so much magic around that franchise and the history of it. It's one of the original teams in the National Football League, and some of the best NFL players to ever play the game. So I think we all understood that at the right time. We were all
great answer. The mystique you plugged into, you got it.
Tapped in.
The Bears have become a joke, so to speak. They've been a clown show, they're hiring the wrong guy, all this stuff. I think you're tapping into something for the fans here. The Bears players, the culture, and we've been talking about this for years. There has to be a maniacal approach. You said you all held each other accountable.
Yeah.
Under the last administration, the administration before that, there was nobody in the player realm that I felt like was the leader holding everybody else accountable. I think that is critical now. Now you got the pressure on number one to be that guy. I know number 32 is out there talking and wanting to be that guy. I see that. But I think this is a really monumental point. I want to highlight it, that the mystique was embraced by the players, and Thomas eloquently put in that. I mean, that's important, because you're right. It's George Halas. There's no NFL without him. None. Right? Walter Payton, the greatest to ever do it. And you wonder, Buckus, Sayers, Dick, all of it down the line.
I mean, there's just so many. It's Mike Singletary. I mean,
yes.
Everybody. I mean, I have. I'll show you real quick.
Real quick. Where's that drop? Real quick. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, I have it too.
Yeah.
I just don't have it fresh like that. Look at you.
So I'm a kid, and this is so when as a kid, in the 80s, we're watching the 85 Bears and Refrigerator Perry, and I mean they were like a rock band, like the Chicago Bears were like they were like the Beatles or the Commodores or something. I mean, it was like just that's the Bears, that's the Chicago Bears C. That's
Exactly.
the G. I didn't even know what the letters meant on the sleeves. I just knew it stood for something. Like as a kid, it was just that's the Bears, the Chicago Bears, Super Bowl Shuffle. I mean, the iconic and an iconic brand, and like I said, I think with the players that were assembled at that time, we all collectively understood that we had a unique opportunity in our careers, but we also were just genuinely blue collar people. We matched the city. If you realize, that team, there wasn't a lot of like showboating guys. There wasn't a lot of guys that were selfish, or you never had that type of issue. When you on defense, one guy make a tackle, you see 10 guys celebrating.
Exactly.
On offense, I score a touchdown. I'm excited, but I'm looking for the lineman. The lineman dinners on Thursday nights, usually during the week, where the offensive linemen, they get together and they go to dinner.
Yep.
I mean, Jason McKee, Adrian Peterson, we're the running backs. We're with the linemen.
They let you go out to dinner with them, or they made you pay?
No. They didn't make me do anything. But just we loved each other, man. Brothers. It's like, man, that's why it felt like high school. It didn't feel like It didn't feel like I went to work and I'm like, oh damn. Okay, I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm tired of looking at you. It was like, yo, what we doing tonight? Where we going? And we wake up.
It was a family, like you said.
Family. We go to work Friday morning. We wasted. Oh shit. Yo. Why'd you make me drink that last shot, man? So when you smell the alcohol on the field, you smell the alcohol during warm-ups. But when we get in that huddle, it's like, that's my brother right there.
Yeah.
It's my brother and Olin and everybody. If he's gonna bust his ass to make that block, I gotta make the run. I gotta make the right read.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, if Tom's is gonna hit it up in there, knowing that it's 9 in the box most of the time, not 8, 9, 10 in the box the majority of the time, then I'm gonna come off the ball. And I'm gonna at least give him somewhere to run. And if he didn't give me somewhere to run, I would say, Olin, it's toss, bro. Get the fuck out there. You got to get in front.
Yeah.
You got to get in front, bro. And he's like, T. Jones, I got you, T. Jones. And if I'm bullshitting and it's a toss and I'm not running, he's like, T. Jones, come on, you got to fucking run, bro. I'm out there. I got him. Get up inside, bro. I'm going to kick him out, but you got to fucking run. Stop dancing in the fucking backfield. And I'm like, Big O, I got you, bro. I got you. It's not personal. It's not like you're blaming me or I'm blaming you. It's like, I don't want to let you down because I love you.
You're being accountable for your brother.
Right. And you don't want to let me down because you love me. Because we're just that real of people. First, before football. You know what I'm saying? And that was across the board. Offense, special teams, defense. And the fans, because they love you, the Bears fans love you, win or lose. But you just want to make them proud because they're coming out. They so passionate. You want to win. You want to win for the home team. You want to win. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all connected in Chicago. I played in other cities, and it's very fair weather sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Where you winning, hey, they got their jerseys on.
Yeah.
You losing, oh shit, they terrible. And talk radio. Obviously, if you're losing, you're going to get bashed everywhere.
Yeah.
But the difference between Chicago and other places is when Chicago fans bash you, it's because they see you like their family member they're disappointed in.
Yeah,
exactly.
Versus some of the other fans.
Say it again.
Where they're like,
so true.
Who get this guy out of here? I don't care if he fucking jumps off a bridge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a drastic difference. And as players, we feel that. We feel the difference between the two. And that's why I think, like I said, at that time, when we had the run, it was the perfect storm of players. And and a fan base that mutually understood how important we were to each other.
Let me say this. As a fan watching it and a coach, there's 3 players. This is true now. I was waiting to get you on this network to tell you this. There's 3 players in my life that I've never had to worry about whether or not they're showing up on game days. As a fan, Walter Payton, Thomas Jones, and 3 running backs, and David Montgomery. I've never, like, I feel comfortable. I don't know what it's like to be a Patriots fan and say, oh, we got Tom Brady. I don't got anything to worry. I don't know what it's like to be up north and have 2 Hall of Fame, whether you like them or not, quarterbacks. Okay, I know what it's like to have running backs. And this is my truth. Thomas Jones, no matter what, when, or where, as a Chicago Bear, you were somebody I knew that was going to give everything he has at that position. Now, I say that when I ask you this next question now. This, to me, was an emotional moment for me and Shane. So news breaks out, Thomas Jones is being traded to the Jets. I was so upset personally because I'm like, what more does this dude have to give? Like, why are we giving away pillar pieces? Greg Olsen, Thomas Jones. It doesn't make sense to me, right? What was going on in all honesty, what was going on? Keep it 100 in your mind when whoever brought it to you, how they handled it, and what was going on in your mind.
Okay, well, this is keeping it 100.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be right for me to not keep it 100 on the Keeping It 100 podcast.
Exactly.
That would be disrespectful to the podcast. So I'll backtrack to get to how that happened. So obviously, I get there in 2004 and I feel like I'm home. I come in and I'm competing with Anthony Thomas. Great guy, great back. We pushed each other, and I eventually was able to earn the starting job. But with 3 games left in the season, it was a rough season. Had some injuries, had some bad breaks here or there, had some quarterback issues. But the last 3 games of the season, Lovey calls me in his office, and I didn't realize at the time what was going on, but he said, hey, we're putting Anthony on. We're making him inactive. See, that's how long I haven't played. I'm trying to think of the term.
Inactive. We're putting him as an inactive this week.
Yeah. We're making him inactive for the last 3 games. It's your show. So I'm like, okay, well, but it's kind of like been my show. Like what
yeah.
Like I've been playing the majority of the games and getting the carries and producing, despite us not, having, all of our guys out there. And so, I said, okay, cool. So I played the next 3 games, played my ass off. I think I had 100 yards in 2 of the games or something like that. And I don't know, I think we were like 1-2 or something, but our last game was against Green Bay at home. I had over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, I finished the year strong. I was fighting. I actually paid the lineman. I think I needed 160 yards to get my first 1,000-yard season. And so I paid the lineman. I said, listen, fellas, you got to get over 1,000 yards. So I paid them, I don't know what it was, a couple grand a piece. And I already had TVs ordered for them after the season. Nice. When I went over 1,000, and they were fighting their asses off against Green Bay. They tried to get me over 1,000. But we came up short. We came up short about 60 yards, something like that. So I'm thinking going into 2005 season, I'm like, okay, well, I almost had 1,000 yards. I missed, I think, 1-2 games because I had hyperextended toe that I played with. I played hurt all year. But I almost still had 1,000, my first 1,000-yard season in the NFL. So things are looking up. So I'm thinking they're going to go draft a receiver. somebody that can help us. Bring in a free agent quarterback that's experienced, something that's gonna give me some help, you know. And so they bring in Moose, but then I'm like, well, they didn't really bring in anybody else, skill position wise, you know what I mean? So that was kind of a red flag. And then right before I started hearing, right when we got started for off-season program, you know, I was in Chicago and I started hearing people say that, the Bears are going to draft a running back. I'm like, what? They just signed a 4-year deal and I just had almost 1,000 yards and the fans seem to like me and I love the fans. I love the city and I love the offense and I feel like I'm fit here finally for a change. I'm somewhere where I feel like I can fit in and stay. And, I just keep hearing they're going to draft a running back. And so I'm like, okay, I don't believe it. I have to believe it when I see it. And then I get a call from Lovey before the draft. And I was actually here in my house in Florida. And he called me and said, hey, just want to let you know that we're going to take a running back with our first pick. Now, this is like, I heard it from just like people in, around town.
You heard
people
whispers.
would come up to me and be like, fans would just come up to me and be like, man, don't worry about it, man. Even if they draft a running back, we still love you. And I'm like, where are y'all getting this from? Like, because I wasn't paying attention to like the Mel Kipers and, I didn't pay attention to that type of stuff, and it just didn't make any sense to me that they would draft a running back, just gave me a 4-year deal. And I didn't even watch the draft. When Lovey called and told me that, I was so angry. I was furious. Because I'm like, I finally, after 5 years, I've gotten to a place where I'm comfortable. I'm coming to my own as a running back, and now it strikes again. And so I didn't even watch the draft. I didn't watch it. My dad calls me. I'm like, hello? He's like, hey, did you watch the draft? I'm like, no, I didn't watch it. And deep down, I'm hoping he's like, well, they picked a receiver.
Right.
He's like, well, they took a running back. So now it's not just the draft, it's my future in Chicago.
Yeah.
At that high of a draft pick, because I was the 7th overall pick. And I understood because I ended up moving Michael Pittman from Arizona to Tampa because he was a 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, and I was the 7th overall pick. So I understand what that meant business-wise. Even if performance didn't add up on that end, the business of the NFL says you got to go. So we go into the 2005 season, and we're in training camp, and said, rest in peace. He he comes in, and I take him under my wing. I'm a team player. I want to win. I want to win a Super Bowl in Chicago. Let's both help us get to the Super Bowl and win. Same way Michael Pittman did me when I was drafted by the Cardinals. He took me under his wing. He taught me all the pass protections. There was not one bit of like jealousy. None of it was. We competed, but we had similar demeanors. We're both very team oriented and unselfish people. Me and Cedric, and Michael Pittman. So it worked. So it was almost like when they made me the starting running back, I felt bad in Arizona. I felt like, damn, bro, I don't want to take the job. And he's like, nah, bro, listen, you earned it. Congratulations. We shook hands, and it's like, let's go do this. And then it didn't work out there. We ended up going to Tampa or whatever. But that was our energy. And so when Sid came in, that's the energy that I was trying to reciprocate. And then I realized that we weren't on the same wavelength. And it also understood that it wasn't just his fault. And I say that because when Sid didn't show up for training camp, Lovey came to me. And now Lovey's the same guy that signed me. He brought me in.
Yep.
Then it hit me, the 3 games in
that he
2004.
Benched, inactive, A-train.
These are your 3 games then I understood, to prove to you that you shouldn't draft a running back, that's what you meant.
Yeah.
It all kind of came to me. So I'm watching film.
Meanwhile, you were playing hurt too.
Yeah, playing hurt.
And
they knew I was hurt. They knew I was hurt all year. I hyperextended my toe against the 49ers. I think I had a slight meniscus tweak. But hey, it's football.
Right.
You get a Toradol shot, you put a brace on, and you get in a cold tub to keep the inflammation down, and you go. It's football. It's the NFL. But he came to me while I was watching film in training camp, and he goes, Thomas, we're playing the Colts this week at Indy. It's the third preseason game, I think. And he's like, well, you're not going to play this week. You're VIP. You're a VIP. You're a running back. So we're going to keep you out this week. I said, oh, okay. Because that's the first time that he had really talked to me that training camp versus the training camp before that where we talked every day because, he brought me in. So I didn't play that week. The next game, I think we played the Browns. The next week, the next preseason game, I'm watching film in the same room. He comes in the room and he says, open the door. Hey, I just want to let you know that Cedric signed today, and then at some point early in the season, you will be competing for the starting job. This is the very next game.
In preseason.
In preseason. So, I was anticipating that coming. That's why when he said you're VIP and you're a guy, I'm like, okay. I'd already made up in my mind that I'm going to have to fight for not just my position here, but my career, because if I get shipped out of here again without producing, my career is probably over. Because I'm a first round pick that hasn't produced up into my 6th year in the NFL. You know what I mean? So I get it. Sid comes in. He does a press conference and he says he'll be ready to start by the second game of the season. Now, mind you, I tried to take him under my wing, but it was almost like he was like, kind of like, who are you? Almost like he was told this guy sucks. And
I was just going to ask you, I have been a head coach. So based on what you're telling me, you've already separated the two relationships. Based on VIP to competition. Now you don't know what he's saying to Cedric as they're signing this big deal to get him in from holding out. You've become an enemy, so to speak. You're in his way now, right?
You remember that? You remember that 4th preseason game? Cedric got in trouble for leaving the stadium before the game was even over.
Yeah,
I don't know if you remember that, but that happened.
I remember that, and it was because they were telling me one thing and telling him something else until he signed, and then once he signed, then they felt comfortable enough to come tell me, well, he's going to compete with you, which means you have this margin of error before. So going into the Redskins game in 05, politics of the NFL,
100%.
politics, it's corporate America. The NFL is a corporate entity. It's money. They have to, these teams have to get the ROI. So first game against the Redskins, I'm like, I know that I cannot screw up. I can't fumble. Screwing up to me is not getting 100 yards.
Right.
Forget fumbling, forget going the wrong way, missing my block or any mental error. It's not that. It's you have to get 100 yards to keep your job. You know what I'm saying? So the pressure that was on me at that point was like, phew. So I go into the first game, and obviously Sid hasn't been in camp, so he doesn't know pass protections. He doesn't know the play. He missed an entire training camp. And I had a great camp that year. Great camp. So, I ended up playing the majority of the game. They put him in, I think, in the second half. And I think I had like 15 carries for 30 yards and a touchdown, and we lost. And I don't know how many yards he had. I don't think he had that many. But that next week, Wednesday, our running backs coach said, Thomas, you're going to get the first 2 plays and said going to get the next 2. And so I'm like, okay, they want to get him acclimated to the offense. Cool. We play the Lions second game at home. And the next game, before the game, Coach Spencer comes to my locker and he goes, Thomas, basically this game is going to decide whether or not you're starting anymore or not. You're going to go the first 2 series. Said's going to go the next 2 series, and then we're going to let it play out from there.
How is this happening? It's just you're confirming everything I've told our fans. Like my uncle is Sam Rutigliano. He coached the Cleveland Browns in the late 70s, early 80s, the Cardiac Kids. He told me verbatim, there's so many shoe salesmen, Phil, in the NFL, and the worst of them let politics rule the roster. It's the performance that should rule. That's where the winning starts to come, because then players understand you play the best. They don't care if you're from Texas Tech, undrafted, or Memphis State, undrafted, or a first-round pick. The save face is winning. Here, you're being told before even performing that somebody else is taking your job that doesn't know the plays, that hasn't done and been in the league like you have. And here you are already against it. I'm sorry to cut you off. I just get so upset. It's what I said, performance over politics. That's one of our T-shirts at this network, which, by the way, Ivan and Claudio, we're sending Thomas Jones a performance over politics tape never lies T-shirt. I'm dead serious.
I'll gladly take one and wear it for you guys.
Exactly.
But that's the thing. It's the ROI. And sometimes fans, it's hard for passionate fans to see the corporate structure of the NFL.
On investment. For anybody asking
because
what that is.
Return on investment.
Yes.
The players are stocks. We're stocks. We're a company that you invested in. You need to get your return on your investment.
Exactly.
If you've given Thomas Jones the 7th overall pick a $5.7 million signing bonus, and Michael Pittman, who's a 3rd round pick, maybe $500,000 or signing bonus.
Yeah.
You have to get the return on investment where you spent the most money. So regardless of, because to be perfectly honest, Michael Pittman probably would have been better starting the first couple of games of the 2000 season than me, because he had been there, because he understood the pass protections a little better. He understood the speed of the game a little better. We both did different things well, but to start off the season, and I love Mike. Michael Pittman taught me how to be a running back in the NFL. He taught me. I learned from him.
He's the only guy that competed with you in bicep size.
Yeah. Well, he motivated me to get in the gym. My arms weren't that big, but I saw Pitt. I'm like, man, I got to catch up. This guy is a beast, And he was such a hard-nosed, tough player that I had to match his energy just to compete, So, but I took the approach to learn from him as opposed to compete with him, because I respected the fact that he was there before me and he had success before me, and he also respected me and understood my talents. So it was a mutual respect, where when Ced came in, there wasn't mutual respect, because Ced, being a young 21-year-old kid, was told by Jerry Angelo and Lovey that you're the guy already. And so when he came in, he didn't think that I was him 4 or 5 years before that. I was you.
Right.
I was the 7th overall pick. I came and took somebody else's job, and that I wasn't necessarily ready for. Just like you came, and you're not ready for this. This is the NFL. So the next game, like I said, Coach Spence came up to me, and all this is coming from Jerry and from Lovey down to Coach Spencer. And so I know now this is my career on the line. If I don't do well this game, my job is taken, and the only way I'll get it back is if there's an injury. And something happened where I said, yo, This is my job. I busted my ass. I made it through Arizona. I got to Tampa. When they sent me there, I was the 7th running back on the roster. They just won the Super Bowl. The odds of me making a team were like this. Not only did I make the team, I ended up starting the last 3 games. I played kickoff team, kickoff return, punt block. I did everything. You're not taking my job. Not in Chicago. You're not taking my job. And I went after that game, and I think I had like 130-something yards and 2 touchdowns, and I was running crazed. And I think that chip on my shoulder from just continuously being disrespected and my hard work and my effort being disrespected made me run angry as fuck all the time, because I wasn't just running because I was happy to be a running back. I was running for my name's sake. I was running for my hard work. I was running for way more than just yards and stats. You know what I'm saying? And in a weird way, not in a weird way, I'm very grateful for what they did. I'm very grateful for Cedric Benson. I'm very grateful for Lovey and Jerry for pushing me to the max and making me realize that I don't have any room for error. I'm going to lose out on my dream. And so we played that year. I think the next game we played Cincinnati, I had over 100 yards. And then the next week we played at Cleveland, I had 140 or something like that. And then I had an LCL sprain, and I came out of the game, and Sid went in, and then I think we ended up losing. And then the next game, Sid had a chance to start against San Francisco, the windy game.
Yeah.
And he was having a great game. And then unfortunately he had a knee injury. Yes. And they wouldn't let me play. No, I think we played New Orleans. And then, see, I had a LCL sprain after the Cleveland game. I was supposed to miss 6 weeks. And I was like, Lovey was basically like, I don't want to say that he wanted to keep me out because he wanted Sid to be able to get the opportunities. But I do think it was like, okay, finally, here's an opportunity for us to at least get him in and get him some touches. And that was the next week against New Orleans. And I played. I don't know. All these games are different. I had a rib injury against the Detroit Lions where I cracked my ribs. But I know we were playing San Francisco, and I had cracked ribs, and I had a LCL sprain. And I had this big lineman knee brace. If you look at all the footage from 2005, you'll see that I had a big,
I remember.
Don Joy lineman knee brace on my right knee. The guys used to joke with me all the time and laugh. They said that was Walter Payton's old knee brace. They dug it in the equipment room. John St. Clair, he still laughs at me to this day for that knee brace. But I had the knee brace.
John St. Clair, also from the University of Virginia.
Yeah, my roommate in college.
Was he?
Yeah, that's my roommate in college. So I had a huge rib protectors on under here. I had a lineman knee brace, and I remember I wanted to play against San Francisco, and Lovey said, we're going to have to keep you out. Now, the game that they said that I wasn't supposed to play, the next game was the Minnesota Vikings after I hurt my knee, and I was supposed to be out 6 weeks, and I didn't practice all week, but I told Lovey I'm playing. So I got a tortoise shot, put the brace, and I said, let's go, see what happens. And I ended up with about, I think, 90-something yards and 2 touchdowns against the Vikings, and we beat the Vikings. So I didn't miss any time. And then Seth got hurt against San Francisco. And then the rest of the year, it was me and Adrian Peterson. And obviously we went to the playoffs and we lost to the Panthers at home.
Steve Smith game.
Yeah, Steve Smith game. We lost to the Panthers. So, and all this I'm telling you to get to the trade.
The trade.
Because there's more to it than just I got traded.
You're getting me emotional just in this part. So I mean, I can only imagine, because let me skip over, because I think the Super Bowl is another showcase of politics over performance. As Shane was pointing out, we all point out, I mean, I felt more comfortable with Thomas running the ball than I did. It's no shot at Cedric Benson. I know, RIP Cedric. Not because Thomas is here. I'll say this with my father. I'll say it on the street, at the bar. Thomas Jones ran the show. Thomas Jones made the offense go. You were the heartbeat, just like it said in your intro. And then in the biggest of great games, Devin has to return. Chris Harris gets a pick. You're running the football. You break that one run out to the right. You get about, I think, I'm just guessing, 20-something yards. And then all of a sudden you're pulled out. I'm like, what the fuck? He's got the go with the hot hand. I'm screaming at the TV. Why is he out? sure you were saying the same thing.
Yeah, I was. And I knew going into the 2006 season that I finally had some leverage to hopefully get a long-term deal so I can stay put.
Right.
And so I was with Tom Condon, and they were actively, I don't think the Bears fans knew, but they were actively looking for a trade for the 2006 season. And check this out. The Indianapolis Colts wanted to trade for me for a second-round pick. And the Bear, Jerry almost traded me to the Colts for a second-round pick, but at the last minute, he said no. And when the draft came, the Colts drafted Joseph Adai. So that's how I wasn't on the Colts that year. And so once I realized that Tom wasn't really trying to get me a new deal, because I'm like, listen, I'm doing the work. I want to stay here. Just give me a little more. Just give me 2-3 more years on my deal, man. Like, just give me a little extra, just a little extra. Just
security.
To make me feel right. Just to make me feel like, damn, I'm busting my ass. I'm watching film all night. I'm doing everything I can to help us win. And Jerry couldn't do it because he had already paid Sid. And so I fired Tom Condon and I hired Drew Rosenhaus. And as soon as I hired Drew, I stopped coming to the offseason program, because that let them know that I'm serious about what I'm saying. Yeah. And so I didn't come to the offseason program, and that created a really, really bad situation with me, Jerry, and Lovey, to the point to where I didn't speak to Lovey.
Now, is this after the Super Bowl or going into that season?
This is going into the 2006 season.
Got you.
So Lovey is calling me because I'm not there, and he's asking me, am I coming back to the offseason program? And I'm like, no, I'm not coming back to the offseason program. Matter of fact, if you guys don't give me what I'm asking for, which is nothing compared to what I'm doing or what I've done so far, I don't even want to come back. Because how do you expect me to go out here, play with an LCL sprain, play with broken ribs, and all this? And all I'm doing is saying, hey, can you at least just compensate me? I understand the situation with Sid. It's not Sid's fault.
Right.
You drafted him. My issue is with you and Jerry. It's not with him. He's a kid. He doesn't know. I went through what Sid's going through already. I was the 7th pick, and I totally understand it's not this kid's fault. I don't have an issue with that kid. He doesn't know any better. You know what I'm saying? But I have an issue with you, and I have an issue with Jerry, because you made a bad choice and you're trying to make me pay for your bad choice. So he doesn't want to do it. So he calls me. I'm like, don't call me anymore. So I go to the mini camp, to be honest, just so I wouldn't get fined. I hit him with the Marshawn Lynch, and I showed up so I wouldn't get fined. And I had been training in Miami, so I went back. I was probably 235. I was ripped, ready to go, but I was so angry because I felt like I was just being disrespected once again. And so I didn't say one word to anybody. Lovey calls me in his office, and he comes and talks to me. And he taps me on the back, and I'm looking at him, and he's like, "Can I see you in my office?" And I'm like, "For what?" We have this. This is how mine and Lovey's relationship was. What do you want? I'm talking to him like he's a pest, because he was to me at the time. So I come in the office, and he goes, "So what are you going to do?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Are you coming back to the offseason program?" I'm like, "No, I told you that already." He's like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "I told you that. I said I only came to the mini camp because I didn't want to get fined. That's the only reason why I'm here." And he goes, "Okay, well, you're not the starting running back for Chicago Bears." I was like, "I don't care. Trade me, release me, something. I don't care. If you're not going to at least oblige what I'm asking you, which is nothing, then don't keep me. Let me go. Let me go somewhere else where at least I'll be appreciated." But he didn't want to do that. So right before the season starts, I have a conversation with Jerry Angelo. We get into a huge argument. He calls me and he says, "Thomas, we need you here. I don't know what your problem is. You're letting Drew push your buttons." I'm like, first of all, nobody's pushing my buttons. I control my situation. He's my representation. But I told you that I didn't want to be in a situation where I'm doing all the work and I'm not being compensated versus somebody that's being compensated for the work I'm doing. And he goes, literally, this is what he says. Well, if you don't come back and Cedric doesn't pan out, my ass is going to get burned. I said, well,
he gave away all his leverage in that comment.
Right. Well, I said, well, you shouldn't have drafted him. These are the conversations this conversation I'm having with him on the phone. And so he calls Drew, and I hang up on him. Like, I'm hanging up on Lovey, and I'm hanging up on Jerry. They're talking and I'm like, no, and I hang up. Like, I'm like, I'm not gonna be in Chicago, but I know I'm gonna be 230, 235, ripped to shreds. Wherever I go, I'm gonna bust somebody's ass. It doesn't matter if I'm released, if I'm traded, it don't matter. I know I'm gonna be ready because I already went through it. I had to go through it already. So Drew says, hey, I talked to Jerry. Jerry wants to talk to you. I think we might be able to work something out. So when I get to Chicago and I meet with Jerry at the facility before training camp, and we have a conversation. He's like, listen, Thomas, you're a valuable part of this team. I know things haven't gone how you wanted. The trade didn't happen with Indianapolis. And I understand your situation. But I promise you, if you just come to training camp, be a great teammate like you are, be a hell of a back like you are. We need you on this team. You're a huge part of this team. And lead us. Then after the season, I promise that I will trade you or I'll give you a new deal. And I said,
wow.
You know I prefer to have a new deal. And he goes,
so you're still emphatic about being treated fairly. If you're just tuning in, we got Thomas Jones, former Bears running back. Talk about keeping it 100. He is keeping it 100 tonight. You're telling them emphatically you want to be treated fairly. You weren't truthfully asking for some outrageous deal to break the bank in the headlines, but you wanted to have some security, some love, because you playing hurt and you understand it. You were there for Cedric, and all you want is that security, or you want to be traded to somebody who else is going to love you for all of the sacrifices and everything you put yourself through.
Somebody's just going to give me a chance. Like,
exactly.
Somebody that's just not going to take my job.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, somebody that's just not going to say, okay, yeah, we know how productive you are and how much of a leader you are. But we're going to take your job because we can, and also even like a team captain, I mean, obviously, that might not matter much to them, but, I was a captain. I wanted to be a captain.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know Olin and Rex were captains, but I'm like, that's mine and Olin's offense.
Exactly.
No disrespect to Rex whatsoever, but like, just the fact that like, I wasn't a captain on offense. Like I wanted that C on that meant something to me. Like, and no disrespect to anybody else, but Olin and I, like, that was our offense. Like, in regards to just the heartbeat of the offense, because Olin and I are like this. If you saw me and Olin talking to each other, sometimes Olin gets me in trouble on Twitter because he'll tweet some bullshit out, and I'm like, I gotta ride with him. You know what I'm saying? To this day, I'm like,
when Olin tweets bullshit out, I get like 16 screenshots. What's your boy? I'm like, Olin speaks for Olin.
Yeah,
I love Olin,
and
he's
my dog. I gotta ride with him, so I might retweet it, or I'll put a like, or I'll do something. Somebody like, oh really? Oh, okay, that's how you feel too. Like, yo, listen, I'll ride with Olin till the wheels fall off. You know what I'm saying? And so even down to the little stuff like that mattered. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, I'm not a captain. And I'm not saying that because I'm complaining, but I'm saying when you put so much work in behind the scenes, all the little details like that matter. To like walk out as a captain with the C on your, I'm a football player. Football player. You know what I mean?
This is important.
Yeah, it's important. I'm not an NFL star or nothing. I'm a football player. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's football. That's respect. That's bigger than just a letter on your jersey. That's like, you're the captain. You're one of the leaders. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that for any other reason, just to point out how much football and being at the Bears and being a
You
Chicago
took
Bear
so
meant
much
to me.
pride. I said it from the top. There's 3 running backs. Everyone always gets upset with me about Matt Forte. Thomas Jones ran the ball so angry. Maybe, yes, you do owe them a little benefit because they confront. I mean, if you were undrafted kid, they probably just cut you anyway. But they say, you know what, if you don't perform, maybe that little motivation, they deserve a little. But the way they handle the empathetic part of this infuriates me based on your performance. It wasn't like you were some kid, came in, you showed a flash. This is you being so honest, so heartfelt in what you wanted, what you're expecting. But it also showed, and you've mentioned it 3 times, and I think it results back to what it is you're involved in now in this movie that you're a part of, documentary about taking the shot, getting yourself out there and ready to play for your brothers, for this family.
Right.
You know what I'm
because
saying?
that's what we established. And I'll speed this up. We go into, I agree with Jerry. Hey, Jerry, listen, let's shake hands on it. Gentleman's handshake. So,
oh, really?
So I agree. Listen, I don't want to not be here, bro. We just went to the playoffs for the first time in my career. And, you know, I mean, I'm getting love and like, I mean, it's just, this is what I envisioned my NFL career to be like. So I don't want to leave. So yeah, let's shake on it. So we play the whole season and it's the same thing. You know, we go into training camp. Said was the starter. Said was named the starter because Lovey told me I'm second string, and he was. But what happened was, and this is how karma works. So crazy. I show up in incredible shape as usual.
Yeah.
And if you didn't finish like 85% of the offseason program, you have to do the conditioning test. Now the conditioning test is like 8 75-yard sprints under, I don't know, 10 seconds or something. So that's a cakewalk for me. So Lovey, we're sitting in offensive meetings. Lovey comes and taps me, and I'm like, this is the first day of practice, first day of training camp, and I walk out in the hallway, and I'm like, what's up? You need to do your conditioning test. And I'm like, do you see what I look like, bro? Like,
yeah,
875s. I'm like 230, and I literally ran a 4.35 before I came up here. But I'm like, I haven't warmed up yet. It's early. Like, can I run it after the meeting? He goes, no, you need to run it now. And this is because we had this back and forth.
Exactly.
And now he's got me there. So now it's like, what am I going to say? No. Now it's conduct detrimental to the team. Not get fined. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Cool, whatever. So I go and I run the 75s, and I get to the 6th 75. Oh, shit.
No.
Pull my hamstring.
Oh.
Pull my hamstring. So I go in the training room, and I literally pulled my hamstring because I didn't get a chance to stretch. I'm like, let me do it afterwards so I can at least get in a hot tub and put some like Tiger Balm on my hamstrings and like warm up. But he didn't want to do that. So I pulled my hamstring. So him and Jerry Angelo are in the training room looking at me thinking like, did you really pull your hamstring or are you full of shit?
Oh my
and I'm like,
God.
no. I'm like, no, I pulled my hamstring. So now you don't have me as a second team back. You have Adrian Peterson behind Said. And
so they're thinking you're faking a hamstring because we named Cedric the starter.
Right.
Well, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
It's very easily.
But it would have made sense. Mm-hmm. I can't say that it wouldn't have made sense. Like, you are right. Like, you just so happen to pull your hamstring doing 8 75-yard sprints when
the guy with the C on his chest. The guy with the C on his chest would do that.
But you know, at the end of the day, it was, you know, I really pulled my hamstring. So like I said, ironically enough, as I'm nursing my hamstring and I'm starting to get better and I'm ready to come back, Sid gets hit in training camp and hurts his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's out. And he goes out. Guess who's back to almost 100%? Me. So I'm back in the starting lineup. And that's towards the end of training camp.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into the season opener in Green Bay. That's how I got my starting job back. If Sid doesn't get hurt, I'm not beating him out during training camp. He's going to be the starter. It's exactly what they wanted. But he ends up hurting his shoulder, and then I end up being the starter. And that from that point forward, I was same mentality. You're not taking my job. And then I think over the course of the season, Sid got more and more frustrated because he realized, there was no chink in the armor. Like, I'm not going to willingly give it up.
Right.
And then that became frustrating for him off the field. And I've never talked about this. You know what I'm saying? But this podcast, the energy, man, and I, these are things that I've known obviously for years, and the fans ask me all the time, and I just don't really get into it. But before the Arizona Cardinals game, Sid and I, we had a very rocky relationship because he wanted the job, and I wasn't going to give the job up, and I think he felt betrayed by the coaches because they told him one thing, but then they're not giving him the opportunities that they told him they would. And then because I felt like, well, I wanted to embrace you, but you want to make it something else. If we're going to make it that, then let's make it that. Then now I'm all in. Now I see you not as an enemy, but I see you as someone that I'm not willing to do anything for. And so that was the energy, and it was uncomfortable for the whole team. It was uncomfortable for the coaches. It was very uncomfortable for Coach Spencer, our running backs coach, because he was with us in the running backs room every day. And part of me was like, man, he's a younger kid. But then the other part of me is like, man, fuck you, man. You're disrespectful. You're disrespectful to the work that I put in. You know what I mean? So I was caught in the middle of like, damn. And I saw so much of him, of me and him. So it was like, this is literally my little brother. Right. But the only difference is money's on the line. My job is on the line. It's not like my little brother that I can just shove him on the gun, like, sit down and shut up. It's like, you can't do that. It's like, if this kid comes in and I have a bad series and he breaks an 80-yard run, now it's chatter. Now it's, hey, should Cedric Benson play? Should Thomas Jones play? And that's what I had to deal with back and forth. So we had a practice before the Arizona Cardinals game. And Sid and I had a couple of words, and everything just came to, I don't know, it was destined to happen, and I hit him, I hit him in the face, and it wasn't necessarily geared towards him. It was geared towards the situation. I was upset with him. I was upset with Lovey. I was upset with Jerry Angelo. I was upset with them even putting me in this predicament. To feel like I had to emotionally react. And then afterwards, I apologized to him, and we talked, and from that point on, we just continued to play football and act like it never happened. But I don't think by the time we got to the Super Bowl, neither one of us were speaking to each other. Because I think then is when he realized, like, whoa, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're in the playoffs. We're in the NFC Championship. We're in a divisional game. And this guy is having 100-yard games and multiple touchdowns. He's taking his game to another level. And I know that I'm just not as good as him. Before, it was a little easier because you could, interchange us every couple series. But in the playoffs, it's like, I just kind of.
You got to win.
Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like, I have a chance to go to the Super Bowl with the Bears. And last year, we screwed it up. We screwed it up last year.
Yeah.
Come on. Nah, we're not gonna not go to the Super. We're not gonna not win the Super Bowl. And I think that's the most intense I've ever been in my career, was in those playoffs. I was like, I remember I was in tears before every game, and I was so emotional and hype. And if you see some of the clips, I'm like obsessed, like going crazy, like before the
I
game,
put
and
one in
during
the
the
intro.
game, you know. And the players, they understood that, you know. And then we ended up getting to the Super Bowl, and which was an incredible experience. And I did not think that we were going to lose that game, and it haunts me to this day. I haven't watched the Super Bowl since we lost. I don't. When the Super Bowl comes, playoffs come, I get a little depressed, to be honest. It might be a player that I haven't talked to in years, and somehow we'll get a random text, and it'll say, "Yo, how the fuck did we lose that game?"
Yeah.
And we're all just like, this the one game that's like, it haunts us.
Yeah.
You know, and I know it haunts the fans too, but I say all of that to get to the point of the trade. After the Super Bowl,
there is a big thing in this. It's amazing, this story. I gotta just pause for a second. Just if you're just tuning in, Thomas Jones is the very definition of keeping it 100. I know he wore number 20. They allowed 100 to be worn. You'd be wearing it tonight because you are keeping it 100. And I just want to say one thing before you talk about the trade and everything. I really think your honesty, your empathy, not only is it therapeutic for you, it's very therapeutic for me, Shane. And I see the fans are just, this is the best show ever, best interview ever. So many people love you, Thomas. And I equate it to a coach not knowing the electricity, the electric current can only flow through a team when you have someone that's willing to carry that. And you were that 100%. So that was always my gripe with Lovie Smith. And I put it in your intro. If there's a Easter egg, I'm spoiling alert, and you'll see it, because the Super Bowl comes and you are the guy. It's not anybody else. You're the guy. And that's what you're talking about. Here's all this shit that's gone down, soap opera, if you will, of fighting and not really respecting what you're doing. No performance, all politics. Now go ahead.
Yeah. Well, now you're right. It's and that's the NFL, man. It's business first, and it's very hard for fans to separate the love of the game and the nostalgia of football versus the corporate element of it. Because you go to an NFL facility, the bottom floor is the locker room, second floor, all the coaches' meeting rooms. The third floor, you wouldn't even think that that's connected to a football team. It's all corporate.
Right.
It's like you're at Facebook,
right,
or Google, or
you're at Google.
There's not even a football up there. There's not. I don't think I've ever seen a football on the third floor of any NFL facility that I've been in. I've been on 5 teams, and I don't think anytime I've been up there, maybe a picture of a football in the ticket office or something, but that is all corporate. It's the business of the NFL, you know what I mean? And it's a trickle-down effect. You know, it starts with the politics up here, then it goes down to the coaches, then it goes down to the players. So we get to the Super Bowl, and I know that if you go back and watch those games, every 2 series, Sid and I were alternating. Every 2 series. And it had been that way since Coach Spencer told me that in 2005 against the Lions, the second game of the season, that it's going to be you go 2, he goes 2, regardless. So I know if I break an 80-yard run on the third carry, or on the second series, I break an 80-yard run, I know when I come out, I'm not going in the third series. It doesn't matter what I do. So, mind you, that's what I understand. But then we're here at the Super Bowl.
Yes.
So although I understand the business of the NFL and I understand all the bullshit and all that, I'm still thinking, this is it. This is the game. All that's out the window. So, first series, I can't remember what I did. I can't remember what we did. Second series, ripped off a 52-yard run. And I've watched so much film that week because the Colts had a small offensive line up front, but they were quick and fast. And so I was like inside zone, outside zone, and trap because they're going to run themselves out of the lanes.
They had what's his name?
Dwight
Freeney
and
Robert Mathis.
Booger McFarland.
Both
They're all
smaller guys.
Fast, quick guys.
Yeah.
So you can't do too much because, they're very quick and they're good. But if you run at them, then you give yourself a chance for them to run up the field, and now there's creases, you know what I mean? And so we ran inside zone to the left, and I ripped a 52-yarder. I come off the field, we score. I think we go up 14-6. I think we go up 14-6.
You scored on third down and passed to Moose.
Right, to Moose. So I'm not even thinking about anything else. I just know, this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Run inside zone again to the right, or run inside zone again to the left, because I know what they're doing. I come to the sideline, Spence, I go directly to him. Don't fucking take me out. Don't take me out. I'm literally pleading with him, begging. I'm like, don't take me out. I know what they're doing. I've seen this in my dreams. I've watched this shit all week. I know what they're going to do. Run inside zone again. The same play to the left. And Spence is like, I got you. So I'm like, Spence, do not take me out. Now, this is not on Spence, mind you.
Right.
He's in the toughest predicament ever because he's like, I love both of these guys. Like, says, I know he's a young kid. But Thomas is like almost like a little a brother to me as a mentor to these other players, the younger players, and says like my kid. So I'm on the sidelines and I'm just like, oh shit, I can't wait to get back in. And then they stop him, and I get ready to run. I grab my helmet, I run in, and he puts his hand and like says going in. And I threw my helmet down, and I'm like going off on the sidelines, like, take me out of the game. I'm just at 52. I told you, keep me in the game. Like, I'm going crazy on the sidelines, and he's like, Thomas, you gotta relax. You gotta relax. It's not coming from me. It's coming from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not saying that they did that because they didn't want me to have a good game or they didn't want me to shine, because I had already done well in some of these other games. Maybe it was because they wanted to just go two series, and maybe they felt that had worked, and that was the pattern. Keep us both fresh, for the first half, and then the second half. I'm not saying anything I'm not saying somebody deliberately did anything, but what I'm saying is, if Sid had broken a 52-yard run, and it was my series,
yep,
that's what I'm gauging it off of. Would they have put me back in? And the majority, when I think about that situation, the majority of me would say no, because he has the hot hand. He was able to get the hot hand and have the hot hand where I wasn't, because even if you notice in some of the playoff games towards the end against Seattle, he was in during the playoff in the overtime. I wasn't in. There were a lot of things that I noticed, and that maybe some other fans or people noticed, that other people might not have noticed, but I noticed it all because I had to overcome a lot of the politics to get what I had. You know what I mean? And so once that happened, and I think Sid went in, and then there was a fumble, and then unfortunately he hurt his knee.
Yeah,
but by that time, on offense, we were all over the place. Unfortunately, Rex just, I love Rex, man. Rex is a great guy. I love playing with Rex. You know what I'm saying? He was a tough kid, tough competitor, but the game was just too big for him. Mm-hmm. The Super Bowl sometimes is such a big ass game The stakes are so, like, every bar in America, every TV in America is watching you.
Oh my
They're watching
God.
your rise or your demise. And a lot of people don't understand that because you're just watching the game. But when you're out there, this is when I knew I was in the Super Bowl. I didn't realize it for real. It didn't hit me until I went out for warm up. And usually you're playing at a home or an away site, right? So in Chicago, you have Chicago on one end, I think, and the Bears in the other end. And then if you're playing at a away team, it's whatever their logos are. I realized that I was in the fucking Super Bowl when I looked in the middle of the field. I saw the NFL Shield logo.
Yep.
And then I saw the Bears on our end and the Colts on there, and it reminded me of Tecmo Bowl. Remember the day?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course.
It reminded me because every game on Tecmo Bowl is the Super Bowl.
Right.
That's how I
Right.
perceived it as a kid.
Yeah.
So that's when it really hit me, like, whoa, this is a Super Bowl, you know. And I'm with the Chicago Bears, and I just took a minute during warm-up to look around and just soak it in. Like, I've worked my entire life to be here, and I was prepared. And the game wasn't going to be too big for me because I was ready. I was made for this moment. That's what I was thinking. And I realized over the course of the game that the game was just too big for Rex.
Yeah.
It was just too big, you know, because he had played well in so many other games. In that game, I remember, you know, I would say, dump it to me or just run, anything. And I could just look in his eyes and tell that it was like, damn, bro, like I want to make these plays, but I just, something's in the way. And obviously it was a team loss. We had turnovers. I mean, we fumbled a kickoff return, had busted coverage. But I really thought as we're driving when it's 22-17, I'm like, yo, we're going to come back and we're going to win the Super Bowl. We're going to score a touchdown and we're going to win.
Yep.
And then, boom, interception return. And it was like, you know, and that's why I'm saying, like, obviously, you know, I'm not saying anything about anybody individually. I'm just replaying it in my mind as I'm seeing the game and seeing it through my eyes, you know what I mean? And then the game was over. And then for me, it was like, okay, are we going to come back next year? We regroup. But then I realized, oh, damn, I still got the business.
Yep.
Yes.
And so here we are at the trade. And now the trade situation, it's because, you know, Drew's like, okay, Thomas, season's over. Let's talk to Jerry. So we called Jerry on three-way, and Drew's like, hey, Thomas did everything you asked him to do. You know, you guys shook hands, and you know, you went all the way to the Super Bowl, and Thomas performed. So what's the situation? And you know, Jerry basically was like, well, you still have one year left on your deal. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, well,
now he's playing a card.
It's like, nah, we're not doing that. Like, so then we're like, listen, man, you know, you told us what you were doing at the beginning of the season. What are we gonna do? And then, you know, me and Jerry got into a conversation that was pretty heated, and you know, that's when he was telling me that I'm letting Drew push my buttons, and I'm like, no, I'm not letting anybody push my buttons. I'm in control of this. You said you were going to do this, blah 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 blah.
You shook hands on it.
Yeah, and so you know, we got into a very heated argument, all three of us on a three-way, you know, and I ended up hanging up the phone. And then Drew called me back and was like, listen, man, we're going to figure this thing out. Next thing I know, I'm in New York hanging out with a couple of my friends. Just so happened to be in New York, and I get a call from Drew, and he's like, hey, where are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm in New York. He was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I have some updates for you. And I'm like, what? He's like, the Jets want to trade for you. And I'm like, what? He's like, the Jets want to trade for you. They were going to fly you to New York, but you're already there. Can you be at Hofstra? Can you be in Hofstra by 5 or something? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, you know, it was just like, I didn't really think that it was going to happen.
Right.
Especially after the conversation. And initially I was thinking, I'm going to get a new deal. I'm going to get at least a couple of years, like 3 years, something. So at least, you know what I mean? And so I went to Hofstra, sat down with Curtis Martin, Eric Mangini, and Mike Tannenbaum,
Yep.
and Curtis Martin literally said, "I want to pass the torch to you. I think you'd be the perfect back to come in and take my place."
Wow.
And it was really dope because, you know, I have so much respect for Curtis, and he just said, "You fit the same type of mold that I did, and I think you'd be a huge asset. You're a great leader. You've got great skills, and, you know, I think you lead this team to the championship." And so I was like, wow, that meant a lot. And I didn't have any time. Like, I didn't have any time to, like, because the trade had to be done by 4 p.m. the next day, or it wasn't going to happen. So the next morning, I get back to Hofstra, and I'm sitting in Mike Tannenbaum's office, and Drew and Mike Tannenbaum are negotiating my deal right there. And I was there all the way. We finished the deal right up until like 3:30. We were going back and forth negotiating numbers, and then right at like 3:30, Mike comes in the room and he's like, "Is everything okay?" Because him and Drew were talking outside. He's coming back in the room. Me and my dad are. He's like, "Are you okay?" Because he's trying to check my temperature. I'm like, "No, I'm good," because I just talked to Drew. And so, you know, next thing you know, I signed the contract, and I go back to the hotel, and it's all over the New York TV in my hotel room. Thomas Jones been traded to the Jets. So I didn't even get a chance to process it. Like, I didn't get a chance to process any of it. It just happened.
Well, you also had that sour taste in your mouth because there was empty promises. There was obvious. I mean, this is the showcase of what it is, why you lose as a franchise. And I'll just say it for you, because you can't identify who's going to help you when the times are toughest. And as a football coach, you have a responsibility to the other 53. When you start putting politics in front of that, everybody else sees it. Now, I know there's a rumor that injury in camp happened because, we don't want fucking Cedric. We want Thomas. So the defense was extra hard, and
that's not that's not
they
true.
Backpedal on all that. I know.
But yeah, it's not true at all. You know,
I know.
To say one thing, I'll say this, man. I'll say this, man. Cedric Benson is the single most important player in my football career. Single most. He was a mirror for me. He was a real life mirror for me.
Because you saw that was you. You knew that you wouldn't do it like that.
It was me situationally, not me as him.
Right.
But I had so much respect for him after the fact, because until you're pushed to your limits, you don't know how good you can be. And that kid pushed me. He pushed me every day. And despite him being upset about not playing, I understood that it wasn't me. He didn't dislike me. He didn't hate me. And I didn't hate him, and I didn't dislike him. It's the nature of the game. It's not Lovey's fault. It's not Jerry Angelo's fault. It's the nature of competition. And I think a lot of people, naturally, we point blame. Your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault, your fault. It wasn't Rex Grossman's fault we lost the Super Bowl. It was all of our fault at some point, because there's something, maybe there's a run I could have. I see this trap play in my mind randomly that in the Super Bowl, if I would have just went straight up the middle, I might have scored a 50-yard touchdown, changed the whole complexion of the game. Like, there's so many woulda, coulda, shouldas, you know. Right. But I will say, I don't blame Lovey. I don't blame Jerry. I don't blame Cedric for my situation. I'm thankful for all three of those guys, because they pushed me to be the best possible football player that I could be, because I took everything I learned, all those struggles, the chip on my shoulder, I took that for the rest of my career, and I ended up rushing for over 10,000 yards.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if I do that without those guys. And I'll tell you another thing, man, and it makes me emotional thinking about it. Damn, bro. fucking sad, man.
Yeah. Sad.
You know, because a lot of times, man, you know, people they just see us as football players, you know what I mean? And that's understandable, because if you don't know us, and if you don't know our lives, and if you don't know us outside of our helmets and shoulder pads and your favorite team's logo, or outside the millions of dollars that, you know, we make, you just see us as just sometimes, you know, expendable, you know, fantasy football and all that kind of stuff, you know. But then when you get to know Sid and his laugh and you know, his laid back personality and his talent and just his quiet demeanor, you're like, this is a cool cat right here. But you also think, damn, this cat got $35 million to be in one of the greatest cities and teams on the planet, but also some of the most highest stakes.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, and he's still a 21-year-old kid, but he's expected to be a grown man. And you know, I think about his family, man. I think about, you know, him not being here, and it's such a weird thing that I would have never expected to be in a situation where someone was so I hated and loved so much equally, that had so much of an impact on my life. And when we played against each other in the playoffs in Cincinnati, you know, he damn, bro. You know, he came up to me after the game, you know, and it was almost like we never played against each other, because I just had so much respect for him. And I was just so thankful that he had overcome adversity like I did. And he finally found a home, and he was successful. And that meant a lot to me, because I wished the kid all the best. I wished him all the best from the day he got there. Things didn't go perfect, things didn't go right, but that's life, man. Football is no different than anybody else's life or anybody else's family. There's family issues, there's family problems with everybody, but you still love them and you find a way to make it work. You know what I mean? And so Chicago, the city, the team, my experience there, it was arguably the most important time of my life as a man, because it tested my manhood, not only just as a football player, but me just as a man, and the integrity of who I was and who I was going to be and how I was going to be remembered. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Thomas, real quick, I'm sorry to butt in, but just you speaking about Cedric, we were sent this picture here, and that just speaks, you know, to exactly what you were talking about. You guys can have your differences of what's going on, but end of the day, it's still what's best for the team, and it's a huge testament to you, man. I mean, not to take the shine off of Cedric, and like I said, rest in peace, but for you to deal with what you dealt with, and as fans, you know, we don't have access to that, obviously, in real time, but for you to go out there and perform at the level that you did, man, that's a testament to you and your brother, your mom and dad. I know that whole story with where they came from and how they raised you guys, but hats off to you, Thomas Jones. I mean, I didn't think I could have more respect for a person until you started talking even more tonight, and it's through the roof. It's amazing. If I can go out and buy a jersey for my son tonight, it's going to be a Thomas Jones number 20 Bears jersey, and that doesn't matter that it's 2022. That says a lot about you, man. It's God bless you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I appreciate this podcast. You know, because you know, you give guys, you make guys feel comfortable enough to be honest. You know, obviously, you got to be politically correct, especially nowadays. You know, certain things you can't say, certain things you can't be honest about, because you know, depending on how the narrative is spun, then it'll make you look a certain kind of way. But I think what you guys have created with this platform is an opportunity for players to feel like they could come and be honest and feel safe and feel like they're home. because you truly, I can tell you guys truly love the Bears, but you truly love the players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And also we're getting paid to be criticized. You know, if you don't play well, this is what you signed up for. You signed up for it. You got to take the praise, just like you got to take the criticism. You got to take them equally. And you know, the gift and the curse of the NFL is, depending on whatever city you're in, you're gonna be a star, you're gonna be a dud. I mean, that's just the nature of the game. That's just the nature. It's what you signed up for. So, you know, I feel like a podcast like this and seeing Lack, seeing Olin, these are real guys. You know what I'm saying?
And don't worry about being politically correct. Brian came out in the first words. He said, "Hey, fuckers." That's how he let off. So
yeah,
we loved it.
I saw it, and I'm like, "Yo, listen, I gotta come on in, and I can come on here and I can keep it 100 because this is like being in the locker room. You know, the way you have it set up, the introduction, you know, feels like you're in the locker room, man. And a lot of times guys aren't vulnerable in front of the fans because, you know, you have to be this tough football. You have to be this, man, because the minute you do something, you show vulnerability, you soft, you weak.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but like I said, this is what we sign up for. And I'll segue from that to my docuseries called Life After.
Please.
And it'll start streaming on Amazon Prime October 18th. 8 episodes. It follows 12 NFL players, including one of the players is me. It follows our lives after football. It shows some of the struggles of guys having to adapt to post NFL. This has nothing to do with money they made and you know, relationships they made. This has to do with people, just men that have done something for the majority of their life that now they have to either stop on their own accord or they're told you can't do this anymore. How do you emotionally and psychologically adapt to that? And so it's a pretty dope series, and there's a lot of intimate conversations. There's like I said, there's 8 episodes, 12 different players, and you guys are gonna love it, man. If you love this podcast, if you love the honesty in this podcast and the rawness in this podcast, you're gonna love Life After, because it's the exact same energy. We got guys to be vulnerable and open, and their families and their children, and so we get a chance to see them for who they are, not just as football players, and not even just as men, but just men who are struggling to figure it out. You know, so
we might have to do a watch party with our
not only
patrons on that one.
We will promote the shit out of that because of the real vulnerability. We've had a whole conversation about vulnerability on this show. Shane's son was diagnosed with cancer this past summer and is now cancer-free.
Last year,
Last year.
Yes.
He's cancer-free. And we've devoted our whole shows to people that are struggling with mental health, any issues, cancer. And I've had your cell phone now. I've been trying to reach out for you forever. So I got to thank my little brother, Claudio the barber. He's in the back. Let's bring him on real quick for reaching out to. I know he's upset.
What's up, bro? Dude, no, listen, I don't care about Rex. I like Rex, but bro, for real, like amazing. You wore your heart on your sleeve in the field, on the field. But bro, right here, I mean, we've had some great interviews, but that was the rawest, most emotional shit I've ever seen on this show. I'm just gonna retire now. I mean, I got you on this. That's it. I'm done. No, I mean, I appreciate you. I mean, you know, I reached out to you in a message because I couldn't message you. You know, there was no message there, and you got right back to me, and I just appreciate it, man. You're a good dude.
Man. Thanks for reaching out to me, man. I'm honored that you did, man. Thank you.
I want to say this, Thomas. You know, tonight for me, last week was very special to me personally because Jarrett Payton came on, and I am only a Bears fan in Connecticut. I had 2 uncles that coached in the NFL. Think about it. As a little kid, 2 of them were coaching in the NFL, Jets and the Browns. And my dad was a head coach, and I'm cheering for the Chicago Bears because of Walter Payton. My loyalty stayed to the Bears because of what Walter did. And then to have Jarrett come on and share the emotion of that affected my whole life, like every avenue to this network. And how many people have reached out to me and say, you have saved my life. I was on the verge of suicide, and you and Shane made me laugh. You had this player on. So it's over and over and over again. And I didn't think we could top Jarrett Payton. Like, for me, emotionally. And I'm getting emotional now because what you did tonight, not only vulnerable, but it was powerful and it was beautiful at the same time. And it means a hell of a lot to me. The only thing I will correct you on, we call this a show, not a podcast.
Sure.
That becomes a podcast because I get to see, I see your face and I see the real truth.
Right.
And that's what you're basically talking about is we bring people in here because we do love them. I honestly have came away from this show, almost like Shane, wanting my son to wear your jersey with pride because I have so much pride. I'll say it for you. I know in my heart of hearts, we would have won the Super Bowl had they fed you. I know it. I'm a coach's son. I'm a running back. I know it. I know you would have done it. And it's no shot at Cedric. In fact, you need to take your victory lap. Everything about you reeks of class, compassion, and truth. You are the epicenter of what people should be when they get to the league. And it's so disheartening that the Chicago Bears let you go and how they handled you. It was wrong. And that's what this network is fit for against. And I'm serious. Performance over politics, t-shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie, whatever Thomas wants. I don't know what he'll fit in. We got to get a triple X with his. He still looked like he could play today. But I think we asked 2 questions tonight. And we've gone, or 3-4 questions.
Those are the best ones.
And it just carried on. And I need you in my life. I'm putting that out into the universe. You're someone I want in my life because I don't know how long I'm going to be on this planet, but my father has always taught me, surround yourself with good people. You're a class human being. I will do everything on this network, and I know Shane is with me, to promote you and everything you do. I can't thank you enough for coming on this show, but we got to get you back again for more conversation.
There's a lot more to talk about. Oh yeah,
there's a lot more to talk
Listen,
about.
The Bears might have got rid of you, bro, but the TTNL fam.
No,
I think you not only did you get more fans tonight, I think you've gotten more people to understand something that I think they need to understand, that you said it better than I did. There is a business side to this.
Well, I think another important thing to come out of this too is don't be upset at Cedric Benson for being drafted by the Chicago, but that's not his fault.
Exactly.
You can't hold that against Ced.
He was looking out for Cedric Benson. I mean, that's what he should do, right?
And I mean,
that's what a competitor does.
A couple of weeks ago, Thomas, I do have to tell you, I was sitting in the Carrier Dome here when we're playing Virginia, and I was thinking about you when my orange was beating up on those Cavaliers there at the end. I thought to myself, I said to Phyllis, I think Thomas probably pissed off. You got to tread lightly when we reach out to him.
Now. Tough times in Charlottesville, man. But hopefully we'll get it together. You know, I'm a proud Wahoo, so you know, we'll see what happens the rest of the season. But listen, fellas, I'm grateful and honored to be on this show, man. I love what you guys have here, like I said before. And listen, every organization, you know, has their moments. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even the Bears, they're not exempt. You know, the Bears are a historical organization, one of the best to play for, honestly. And like I said, the business of the NFL catches up to everybody at some point. No one's exempt from that. You know what I mean? It's just a part of the business, part of the game. And even Lovey and Jerry, you know, of course, you know, I would have preferred that they didn't draft a running back, but the fact that they drafted a running back made me a better running back.
There you go.
And so I will never look at the Bears. I will always be grateful and thankful for the opportunity that Lovey and Jerry Angelo provided me. I'll always love my times at Hallis Hall and Lake Forest. Always love my time with my incredible teammates in Chicago.
Yes.
All of them. Rex Grossman, Moose Muhammad, Brian Urlacher, Alex Brown, Ruben Brown, John Tate, John St. Clair, Roberto Garza, Jason McKee. I mean, you're talking about, yeah, man. You're talking about.
We got to get you two on it at the same time.
Olin and you would be a great show.
Oh, God, yeah.
That'd be sick.
I mean, you're talking about, I mean, that was a special time because you're talking about really good people.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
outside of football, man. You know what I mean? Just good guys that you could just, blue collar guys, you go get a, we just go.
You wanted to be together. That I took that out of this interview. I think as a coach, I can't express it enough. If you get a group of young men that want to be around each other, your coaching becomes that much more easy because everybody's coaching. Everybody wants to help. Everybody's a part of the brotherhood.
Right.
And that family atmosphere goes a hell of a lot further than everybody looking and playing a political game. That kind of stuff could separate. So you want to embrace the family. So
and Lovey was the perfect coach for that time because his demeanor was perfect for our team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because we had veterans and we had young players. So Lovey didn't have to teach. He just had to organize, you know, and let us be who we were. Because we were out of control, man. We were out of control. I mean, nobody told us anything. We bullied people. We literally bullied teams. Because, you know, we
lived it. We loved it.
Yeah, man. We bully defenses. We bullied them. You know, 9-10 in the box. Okay, we're running inside zone. We'll tell you where we're running. We're running inside zone. You got to stop it. On defense, you already knew. I don't want to mess with that defense.
Exactly.
I mean, you don't know who's going to hit you. You don't know who's going to sack you. You don't know who's going to intercept the ball. You know, we were bullies, and we deserved the Super Bowl. But you know, we're putting in the universe that the new Bears are going to bring the Super Bowl home to Chicago, and I wish the Bears all the success forever. I'm always a Bear, once a Bear, always a Bear. Bear down, man.
Let me ask you one favor before we let you go. Well, I have a couple, but one will suffice. Can you do a station ID? Because I want to put you in the promo we're building. And what that is who you are. It's Thomas Jones, however you want to define, former Bears running back, number 20 in the program, number 1 in your heart, however you want to do it. And we'll
give you 2 takes, Thomas. If you fuck it up after 2, we're going to bring the other guy in for the
3rd series.
You only get 2 series, Thomas. 2 series. But seriously, yeah. So, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. Now, you're an actor, and you're good at it too, man. It's not like my wife is a fan.
Yo,
thank you.
Comanche, bro, on Luke Cage, you were awesome.
Oh my God, I loved you in Luke Cage. I'm like, that's my dude, Thomas Jones, on the big screen.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate it, man. Give it to me one more time.
I'm gonna give you a countdown, 3, 2, 1 to do it. But I don't want to. I want you to be your own creative definition.
No, I got it. I got it.
And then you go. I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna isolate on you and count you down. 3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's up? It's Thomas Jones, former Chicago Bears running back number 20. And you keeping it real on the Tape Never Lies Network. Bear down.
Almost had it.
Almost had it. You get one
keeping
more.
It 100.
Keeping it 100.
That's the name of the show. It's the name of the show. That's why, yeah.
What did I say?
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. So then Someone's gonna get after you. A troll in the chat is gonna be like, "Oh,
I
he did
only
it."
have one more take, so I got to get it.
No, you have as many as you want. You want me to count you down? 3?
Yeah, let's do it.
So keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
You're keeping it 100, right? Or I'm keeping it? Which one?
You could say I'm keeping it. This
Okay.
is Thomas Jones, former running back, number 20 from the Chicago Bears, and I'm keeping it 100. You got it?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
What's up? It's your boy Thomas Jones, former Chicago Bears running back number 20, and I'm keeping it real on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Keep it
again. You said real
Oh.
again. All right, bring Jonathan Quinn. Bring Jonathan Quinn in.
You know what? I don't say keep it 100. I only use the 100 emoji.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why.
Here we go.
This is
Here we go.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
What's up? It's your boy Thomas Jones, former Chicago Bears running back number 20, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network. Bear down.
Yeah, look at the producers in the back.
3 take, Thomas. I
Look at
yes.
Cherie, you happy with that, Cherie?
We can just stay isolated on them.
As long as Cherie's happy, I'm happy.
There we go.
Cherie just wants to keep the solo on you.
We'll put Cherie right next to you. There you go. You're right next to each other. There you go.
Hey, Cherie, how you doing?
Now you can keep it real, Thomas.
Nice to meet you.
Cherie is our lady of the house, our producer extraordinaire, also helping getting guests.
Yeah,
and
she's
does
the boss.
everything.
She's the boss.
Yeah.
She's the boss.
Great job.
She does a
Great
Manscaped
job.
read. I can't wait for you to watch now.
Great
I
job,
won't
Cherie.
do that.
Cherie, this is a great show, not a podcast, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
There he is.
I'm honored to be on here, so thanks for having me.
Oh,
Well,
no,
Thomas Jones.
Thank you for giving your time.
You got
Exactly.
it. No problem.
Yes.
Thomas
All right.
Jones, former running back. If you're just tuning in now, you have missed one of the all-time greatest interviews. I kid you. I don't blow smoke that I've been a part of since I've been doing
100%.
this for the last 8 years, 9 years, my wife said. How many years, Shane? We've been doing
Long time.
shows a long time. When we were doing podcasts, it beats all of them. Thomas Jones, I can't thank you enough for your time, your amazing truths, and seriously, I want to make sure we send you the intro we produce for you, and we need your address. Obviously not on the show, but send it. I want to make sure we get you some swag out there to you, and let's keep this relationship going.
For sure. Thank
Okay.
you for having me. I appreciate it.
I don't know. Do you do Instagram? Because I don't do Twitter. It's too.
Yeah. My Instagram is Thomas Q Jones. It's across.
Yeah,
Twitter,
I don't know if
Facebook,
you
whatever.
check it. Do you check it? Because
I'm always on social media. So
All right. So
yeah.
follow me back. I tagged you in the story, and this way I could send you some stuff and some information too.
All right, I got you.
All right. And we're going to get you back on this show again.
For sure. Most definitely.
All right. Thanks, Thomas.
All right,
Thomas,
got it.
Thank you.
thank
man.
you
Thanks for
so
having me.
much.
Thank you.
Peace.
God bless you, man.
Bless you too.
Thomas Jones.
Powerful.
Sheesh.
How do you top that every time?
I've never seen Cherie so flustered.
I know.
Yeah, I think
You did get that nice line. Will Fist.
You better go do some alarm days.
Yeah.
Put the alarm days in.
Cherie's like, Will, who?
Yo, I thought
She sent me a text. She says, Cherie Jones sounds nice. Cherie Jones.
Ring to it.
Wow. Probably one of the most powerful, like you said, Shane. I'm like taken aback by it because
Yeah,
of
and
his
I think I did want to ask him. We'll get to it next time, but I would have liked to have known if he was able to, what the relationship with Said was post.
Well, he said
football.
he got to see post football.
Yeah, but post football, if he got to tell him that you were the most important, player in my career. Because, there was obviously, let's be honest.
God.
I mean, the day that Cedric was drafted in Chicago, he broke down on the stage, and I don't exactly think it was the emotions of being drafted. It was just, he just seemed overwhelmed. And, I'm one of those guys. I'm a Dodgers fan. Cedric Benson was drafted by my two favorite teams, the Chicago Bears and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So, I have a double connection to him there, but just the way that the way that everything unfolded for Cedric, and then for him to lose his life, as tragic of a situation as that was, you could see. I'm almost assuming Thomas didn't get to tell him that just by the pain that you could hear in his voice, and it almost looked like he was
tearing up.
Yeah, it was almost like he was looking
authentic.
Yeah, it was like he was almost looking up at the sky to let Cedric know. So that was, I know we take our bullets here for speaking our minds, but Thomas, don't take my word for it. Take Thomas Jones' word for it. Take Jarrett Payton's word for it. We set the stage for these guys to feel comfortable, and if you think that that's easy, it's not. It's a lot of man hours invested by everybody here. Phil and I have been doing this a long, long time, and this is what we strive for. We're not out here to, for moral victories. Let's say that. We're just gonna fucking win, keep winning, and doing this the TTNL way. And man, that's a capper to a pretty crazy month plus for TTNL with Thomas. Amazing stuff.
I don't think you could even. I'm struggling, and me with words. I don't really have tough time talking, but
does this
the
help?
reality of what he said? What reality of what he said about the network and what we do and what we stand for? I mean, from everybody, Jackal, Bratcher, all of the people we've added to this net, Ron G, Caden Whitlow, Cool Kennedy. The reality of the truth is what it is. We're gonna have haters, and if you don't, you're probably not doing it right. I get it, but tonight, I think is one of those moments that I just take a bow to all of you that have supported Shane and me and our creative flow and process to make sure that we get the truth out there. He told you what I've said. The Bears will never win if they continue to put the politics before the performance. It's just right in that story. It cost you a Super Bowl. Think about it. And I will say this, and he didn't want to, doesn't have to, but Lovie Smith instigated that relationship to what it was based on what he did in that moment of saying, you're our, what did he call him? What was the word again? You're our VIP.
Yeah.
You're our VIP. And then a day later, it changed. Can't do that. You can't create chaos and promises. You have to be authentic with football players. They are people. They have feelings. And as a coach, you got to tap into that things. And you play mental games. I'm not going to, I make competition. I do, but I don't lie.
Well,
I would never lie to people.
When he was explaining about how the locker rooms are in the bottom, and then
exactly.
You know what else was like that? The fucking Roman Coliseum with the fucking gladiators,
exactly.
The fucking royalty. Same fucking thing, right? There's no fucking.
The NFL's been compared to that for ever.
And
listen, I'm just so proud of Thomas, the man, because his words, his truth, and his story, he chose to share it here. And really, ultimately, as we're preparing the Washington Commanders, like even now, Bears have taken a back seat to what just transpired for me. It's almost like, I would play a game and I had a good game. And then after, I'm on such an adrenaline high. It's like, I just want to keep talking about the game and what happened, hang out with my teammates or whatever. That's how I feel right here. with what time. Like, it's insane how I feel right now. And I'm just telling you, that guy left his heart on the field. That's why I speak on David Montgomery. There's an electricity with some of these play. Like, they refuse to lose. You, as a coach, you have a responsibility. You don't take those guys out until they go like this. Then you get the other guy. Once you start identifying
someone said in the
limits,
chat, Poles and Flu should see that interview.
100%. Because Shane
talking about this and saying
it goes back to polls and exactly what before Thomas was there. We were saying politics about Sam Mustipher, about Chris Zorge, saying if they are watching the same tape that we are, me and you, Phil, and we're watching this, you can't let this continue to happen. You brought another center in to be your prick. You get another guard. You leave that fucker at center. You move Jenkins to left tackle. You can't play this soft shit. Like, it infuriates me because I've been, and Shane, back in the day, everyone would laugh like Phil with who have you? I've been right a lot. We'll just say that, especially when it comes to the personnel. Like, you got to do what's right for the Bears and Justin Fields.
Yep.
Because I told you, I hadn't seen Justin Fields with the freaking eye of the tiger until last week. That fucking kid showed me a lot because that offensive line, pathetic. Pathetic. I mean, if you're going out there strutting that same line out there, you're just, and it's infuriating for me because life is too short. Life is too short to see this team beat itself by not creating competition in the right way. Creating in the right way. Do you want to do the read now, Shane? It is late.
Yeah, we better get to it. Actually, Phil, you should. We'll let them do that. You pop off. I got to call you real quick.
Okay.
There you go. All right, Cherie, just imagine Thomas Jones. That's it.
Imagine.
Thomas Jones.
Wow.
From P-Valley, right? You watch P-Valley?
Oh, my
You
God.
Pull it up
Yes,
on
I
your
do.
phone.
Oh, okay.
Relax.
Pull that up. You'll do a fucking perfect read. You're good.
Thanks for the advice, Claudio. Welcome to Fresh Ball Fall. It's the season of pumpkin spice and making sure your crotch looks nice. That means sipping cider in a fall breeze and using Manscaped products to trim your balls with ease. That's right, today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, a company here to make sure that your foliage isn't the only thing shedding its excess leaves. Even Mother Nature knows it's time to lose the excess clutter for fall. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code YOKO. Whether you're brand new or already with us at Manscaped, you can use the crown jewel of care for your family jewels, the Platinum Package 4.0. With this glorious package, you can align your entire hygiene routine all in one swoop. Inside the 10-part Platinum Package is everything you know and love about the Performance Package. Oh, shoot, I lost my place. Plus some shower goodies included to elevate.
Yeah, Thomas on the mind. Thomas is on the mind. That's it. Is Thomas calling?
Oh, I wish. Inside the 10-part Platinum Package is everything you know and love about the Performance Package. Plus some shower goodies. Stop it, Ivan. Included to elevate your grooming game to platinum. The Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer and weed whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. God, I really am off my game. Feature proprietary advanced skin safe technology to protect your delicate parts and holes. Both are waterproof, so you can keep scaping even as the weather's changing. And just so y'all know, I can't emphasize enough that it is very important to Manscaped. Please take care. I don't care that it's winter. You still got to take care of that. Just because you ain't out getting sweaty, you still need to clean up down there. So emphasis on taking care of y'all jewels.
There you go. Maine. Right? There
In
he
addition
is.
to shaving, you can now completely upgrade your shower routine with the Ultra Premium Body Wash and Ultra Premium 2-in-1 Shampoo and Conditioner. You'll have your skin and hair feeling hydrated and smelling fresh. Don't forget to apply their aluminum-free Ultra Premium deodorant. And don't worry, it's not pumpkin spice. It's a cologne quality fragrance. So you're not out here smelling like a basic bitch. We shouldn't say we shouldn't save a signature scent for our pets. Use Crop Preserve Ball deodorant and Crop Revive Ball toner to make sure your go-to smell is top shelf and not sweaty balls. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Platinum Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag, both specially made to hold your goodies. Get the Platinum Package this fall. These products are guaranteed to be hits for your dangly bits. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code YOKO. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com when you use code YOKO. Manscaped. Clear out the leaves. It's your tree trunk's time to shine.
Unbelievable. Awesome. The best yet, I think.
Oh.
It kicked me out. I played Work Your Ass and it kicks me out.
And it kicked you out?
Yeah, it kicked me out. But I'm back, so.
But
Yeah,
no, I know Phil and Shane dropped off, but I did want to add to what they were saying about just the fact that they create such a comfortable environment. And like that interview was one, I like, no disrespect to Eric Kramer and all of the other great guests that we've had on. That was the first time seeing his emotion that I got emotional watching it. So just kudos to Shane and Phil for creating an environment where players can come on and people do feel comfortable coming on.
I mean, he answered that trade question. He talked for over an hour.
Well, the story,
his answer was over an hour.
the way that he told the story, you know what I mean? Like he brought you back, like great storyteller, by the way. But the way that he captivated you, I was in here. I mean, I was.
Well, we see why he's in acting, right?
Absolutely. I teared up just because it took me back. Like he was able to, the way he told the story and how descriptive he was. And how real, and how.
I mean, he said he never watched the Super Bowl back.
I believe,
but he knew he went for 50 yards on his fucking second series.
Exactly.
Like, so his memory was amazing.
It was just his passion and just his vulnerability, like Phil was saying, his ability to be open with us. And Cherie said it perfectly. All these guys are, these guys are pro players saying that they're the most comfortable on this show. And putting it out there and being open with us and being real with us. And that's something amazing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It was an amazing interview. Thomas Jones bringing the truth to the TTNL network as well as the fans. And just ultimately carrying through the whole show. And there's really, I don't know how you do that. So just with everything we have going on and things working in the background as well, I just think this is the perfect time to just skip over some of the stuff. We'll be live again tomorrow night again for Bears Hour Live. And
been waiting for
Phil.
He's overwhelmed. Give me some fucking names.
Every week we're gonna understand the
Give me
fucking
some
why.
fucking names.
So it will be another late night breaking down the Bears. Obviously, Bears losing last week. We'll break enough of that down. If you're not a patron, tomorrow Kramer's QB School will be later in the afternoon, and sign up, become a patron at thetapeneverlies.com. But of course, we have to end our show. Real quick, go around the room predicting the game tomorrow. Cherie, what do you got?
I think it's the Commanders, so I think the Bears can win this one. So I'm gonna say Bears 17-13. It's gonna be a low scoring game. I hate to say it, but neither team is exciting. So I'm going to Bears 17-13.
Claudio.
I'll push back. I think this is the worst defense we've played all season. So I think we're going to put up some points, honestly. I think we're going to hit 30, and we're going to win 30-17. It's going to be a nice win at home. Yep.
Holy shit, that would be nice for a change.
Well, I mean, our offense started clicking, last game, and I think we're on the rock. And Fields makes some more passes. I think we get EQ maybe a little bit more involved too. So there we go.
Ivan Vargas.
Yeah, I'm gonna go high 20s. Bears win 27-15. I think Washington's gonna make plenty of mistakes. I don't trust the quarterback whatsoever. Don't trust that offensive line either. You know what I mean? The return of the walrus on Thursday night. So I just don't trust the Washington football team or whatever they call themselves, the Commanders nowadays. I just don't trust it. So I think the Bears are going to put a whooping on them. I think the offense is going to take a step.
What was your score?
27-15.
Thank you. Shane?
Yeah, I have the Bears winning, and I think the score is going to be 24-17 Chicago. And I'm going to see a Cole Kmet touchdown in there.
Nice.
Wow. I got the Bears as well. Like Ivan said, the
fucking homers we are.
The Walrus returns. I got them 24-10. The Chicago Bears, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. 24-10. David Montgomery gonna have something to say tomorrow night. The Chicago Bears play the Washington Commanders. We'll be live on BHL right after the game.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holler at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holler at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. From the fans in the stands to the follows on the gram. Thanks for your support, showing love in the DM. We stay Spencer strong, fight together till the end. Now it's time to shout out worldwide friends and fam. Like
the network that keeps it real, 100 crew. So many in the world that I gotta show love to. For some this policy the show is at its end, but for me it's so important to thank the charter members and the fans. Built the network, speak the truth through the tape. Never run around the truth, no narratives we create. Set them straight, no bubble screen on 4th and 8. Audio Shane getting nervous cause keeping them up too late. That's it, no more to say to get the shot of vital. But hurry up cause the postman's getting homicidal.
Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holler at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holler at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too.
The network that keeps it real. Sense is strong. Mod on.
There we go. Mod on. Claudio, the barber.
I'll make it quick, man. Obviously, shout out to everybody here, everybody behind the scenes. Thomas Jones, amazing. I just messaged him and told him how amazing it was. We couldn't even finish our normal show. So it's like, it was just, we're on a high. But everybody in the chat, Bo Ski, I've never seen him really in there, so I'll shout him out. I'm good.
Beautiful. Cherie, I should have started with you. I apologize. Smash the like button, guys.
It's fine. No, just to piggyback back off of Claudio, of course, shout out to Thomas Jones for the great interview, taking us all through those emotions, bringing us back to that year. But shout out to you, Claudio, for even getting him on. So thank you personally. Thank you.
Well, Alan Pratchett got Urlacher, and I'm like, okay, well, Rex or Thomas Jones? I'm like, nah, Thomas Jones. He's the man.
I personally appreciate Thomas Jones. So no,
I know, we know.
We found out.
So anyway, shout out to you. And of course, shout out to you guys. Like I say, every week it's something to look forward to. It's just hanging out with y'all. And after stressful work week, I really appreciate that you guys keep me in the fold of this family. And just one person in the chat, I want to shout out Raymond Clark. Happy birthday. So happy birthday to him. And that's my shout outs.
Unbelievable. Ivan.
Short and sweet. Thomas Jones, awesome interview. Honestly, got me emotional because it took me back, and then to hear how all the BS that he went through, and to put all that all his truth out on the line for us, and he was just able to be real. That was just awesome. See, one of my favorite players of all time, no doubt. But amazing to see him, and then all you guys, of course, just great stuff this past month, this whole year. I mean, can't stop, won't stop. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep going.
Take that.
Take that.
Next week, we'll have former Bears defensive coordinator Greg Blash on the show. Keeping it 100.
Real quick before you.
Yes.
So Thomas Jones literally just messaged me back. He goes, "Brother, thank you for having me on. I needed to get that off my chest for years, and your platform was perfect. Love what you've created with this show. I'll definitely reach out when I'm in the area." I told him about the game we're going to.
That's amazing.
So, I mean, dude's for real.
Awesome dude, man.
Can you get his address, Claudio?
Yeah.
And remind him, because we want to send him, and then we'll get him his intro that we produce. Shane Marsaw.
Yeah, I just obviously want to shout out Claude getting Thomas on. Thomas himself. I mean, just like I said, Phil, I think you put it best when you said, you didn't think that we could up the ante from Jarrett Payton, and God damn it, we did it. Not even I feel guilty saying we. It's the guest that's providing the the key ingredients. And I said, Thomas, you ask him a question and he riffs. So just great to hear. And like I said, my respect level for that man went up, infinitely. Want to shout out my baby girl. She's been a little sick here the past week. We had a little scare a week ago. Today, got done with the show and walked upstairs, and unfortunately all hell broke loose. Her fever shot up to 104.6 and got done the show, and next thing I know, we were in the ER and doing that whole thing. So things have settled down there, and kind of brought back all those feelings of helplessness, when your child is sick and you're trying to figure out what's wrong. But it is not saying that what Riley went through is easier, because it wasn't. But when they're so small and they can't tell you what the problem is or whatever, that's always difficult. I know, like Ivan, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and anybody that's had a kid that's been sick. So she's bouncing back, and she's back to being the devil that she is today. So want to shout out little Miss Emerson. Daddy loves you, and take it easy on me for a couple of days, please.
Yes, I got to shout out all of you fans that keep it real, that aren't fair weather, that I know this is not a plea. It's just loyalty means so much to me. I think those people that tap into what Thomas was saying or what Will's saying, it's like there is so much hard work, time, and away from your family to give to this show. Like, I can't put my sons to bed. My wife has to put them to bed. And, things like that you kind of miss when you're doing the show. And I don't think everybody puts it into perspective. And then when I know Shane had my back here, like for years, I put out these tape reviews that were 25, 30 minutes long to set this, the tone of being the original gangster, doing tape, showing you the truth, to extend it to a show that talked about the truth through the tape and under that same umbrella. So it really makes me proud to see that these players could come on here and express that same kind of emotion and loyalty to this network, to the show, and be comfortable enough to share their truth. Thomas tonight was the MVP. I don't even know if I could shout out anybody else. I mean, what he did is set the tone for, what this network is, what being a football player should be, and what the Chicago Bears organization should be. And Claudio or Ivan who said it and the fans that said it, yeah, Ryan Poles and company should 100% watch that interview. And, you know, there's a lot of people out there putting us in a certain lane, and I'll be there forever. I thank you, just like Thomas Jones. I thank all of you guys, because I'm never going to change who I am. I have a lot. I'm a competitive dude, but I'm also an honest, compassionate person. And this network means so much to me. And I had planned on coming out here and breaking down tape, doing the truth of that, and getting the people fired up. But tonight, I think we put it to bed on what was probably one of the most, strong emotional moments in TTNL history. You guys, Shane, Claudio, thank you. Shout you out. All of you guys that go out of their way to share the show and let other Bears fans know. We're not for everybody. I understand that. But not everybody is going to get what we got tonight. That being said, for Claudio the barber, Cherie, producer, Ivan, Shane Marceau, and everybody else, Jackal, I don't know where you are, but shout you out as well. We'll be back tomorrow. Bratcher, feel better. We'll be live tomorrow night right after Bears Commanders at Soldier Field in the orange jerseys, breaking it all down.
The tape never lies.
Hey, fuckers. This is Brian Erlacher, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
The tape never lies.
TTL, the tape never lies. Tape never lies. Are you friends with Adam Ray? I am.
Come on. Phil. Could you hear me?
You guys know the tape never lies.
Give me some name.
Come on, Shane.
Tape Never Lies Network, man. Tape Never Lies Network. Maybe tune in.
I'm a born American boy. Born in this land.
I tell you what, man. Tristan Abner, I tell you what, man.
You could be better in the open field. That's all I said. Brenton Gill's the fucking new punt god. I
fucking love it. I love it.
I grew a goatee because the only way people knew that I had actually gone through puberty is his hair either had to be here or here, and that was it.
These guys will tell you the best abilities is availability. Best ability isn't availability. It's accountability. You fucking nerd fucks.
There you go. Yep, I'm liking it.
Fuck yourself.
Blame it on the bubble wrap.
I love all.
Jim Larison is faster coming out of the end zone than I see Ebner.
It's pretty true. I mean, that's true.
The tape never lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna rise up?
Jeepers creepers.
I'm good. I'm feeling good about this week, man. I'm excited.
Yeah!
And when we go,
I love all.
That's gonna get old.
Good, man. That's good.
More podcasts we listen to during the season and during the off network, baby.
Sure. Have you watched The Matrix yet, dude?
The tape never lies.
So, man, I fucking fucked up. But
The tackle did the grave digger on my ass. I was like,
Oh, man.
Claudio hired him to draw logos because he's unemployed. Ours was also supposed to be named after Dionne Warwick. That's so strange.
Give me some fucking names.
You know how cold it is here, guys? I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you, you know.
I got it up.
Watching the Tape Never Lies Network, what our face cants.